Name is Notepad and on. This is the curious case of JTRPGs number 2, actually. We're going to be looking at 4 very unique tabletop games for very different reasons. Why is there the little dog? Well, Manly, I was going to get to that in a second. However, these books are, well, very white. As in, there's no color. And since we're going to be going through them, you're going to be seeing this. And this isn't one book. This is all of the books. Alright, let's bring up Kamigakari. If I can find the right core book, because there's like 4 fucking core books. Wait, no, that's... Okay, that is Kamigakari. Yeah, this is a 400-page monster. This is going to be a fun one. All of these are going to be beautifully white. And so I'm like, I need something to make sure that it's at least somewhat able. Because we're going to be looking at a lot of these games are going to be well, beautifully white. So it was just like, I need a little bit of color here. Originally, Yandere Dev was going to be here. However, I have a feeling Alex's autism would overpower my own, so I didn't think that would be a good idea. Okay, racist Notepad is back. Hello, Bummel. Also, hello, Danzai. Oh, man. Fuck you, dude. Danzai Yamaksandu. I'm gonna call you Dan. Say hi, Dan. Welcome to the crew. 70 followers. We're making it, boys. So, I needed to... what I'll do now is I'm gonna go over what a JTRPG actually is. Because... JTRPGs are really fucking weird. Like, let me just, like, clarify that. Like, if you were to take HelloPhone, what games... Fuck you too, Dan. I pity followed, ow. The big thing... Well, in the first version, we covered Made RPG, we covered Golden Sky Stories, and Chronica. It was the Ryu Kamiya stream. And Venticle did come out finally, so hopefully we get Venticle. Also, hello Orange Chainsaw, welcome to the crew. Big followers, big numbers is what we like to see. That was the Ryu Kamiya stream, very much. This one is non-fear games and non-Ryu games, because I liked Ryu Kamiya. Ryu Kamiya does have his quirks. He does have his little quirks. But one of the core things with JTRPGs to go over, like, before we even begin anything, we kind of need, like, step 1 before we hit step 2, is... Oh, it's 71, okay. Hello, LA Noir soundtrack. You were a beautiful soundtrack, but please, hold it down a little bit. JTRPGs, at their core, are far more... narrative than anything. And what I mean by that, what do you mean by narrative? They are not really designed for, okay everyone, here's the big world, go explore now, it's for fun times, I'm playing a Dragonborn cleric, I'm playing a dwarf warrior, and we're gonna go on a magic adventure together. Far from it. And I think that throws people off quite a bit. Actually, I know it throws people off a lot of bit. So I'm going to... Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up a game here real fast. That... We're not going to cover today, however... God damn it, where is it? Where are you? Where are you when I need you? You'd think I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. That's the best part about these. We're doing it fucking live. Where are you? Necronica. Okay, there we go. Nope, I need to open you up in the right method, because if I don't, it freaks out. So this is Necronica. Some of you may know this game, some of you may not. However, Necronica is a game which can roughly be summarized as a Japanese necro battle lolly RPG. That sounds pretty fucking weird. The game isn't really designed for, like, long-term play. What a lot of JTRPGs do is that they focus on segmented play that you can do in a session, or a lollycore, yeah, pog, that you can do in a section, or you can do in a day or an afternoon, and then there might not be months in between another game. But that's okay. You've done the entire section. You've done an entire set of phases, of ideas, and it's usually building up to a crescendo point and then ending. Of all the games we're going to be looking at today, actually, all of them have that in one way or another, which is like one of those big parts that I think people get really thrown off about JTRPGs. They are not designed similarly to our games in the West here at all. And that's just if we go way back in history. Everyone's talking about necro lollies in the goddamn chat. God damn it, guys. I'm trying to develop an explanation here. Way back in the day, the big games were Call of Cthulhu and their adventure paths, as well as the BattleTech RPG, which their extensive adventure paths. If your entire culture, your TRPG culture is built around adventure paths, you're going to have to design games around that, including the fact that dice were actually a bitch to get. You know, we don't think getting dice is difficult here. If I want to get well, hopefully, maybe, there's a few games out there that I want translated that'll never be. One of the big things is getting things like a D20, D10s, D8s. That was really expensive back in the day. And if I remember correctly, it was due to them being technically labeled as gambling. Since it was labeled as gambling, there was subject to a huge tax, but the D6s were a bit different because they were classified as games. It was very strange, but it was a lot more expensive. So a lot of things ended up being D6 based. So you have Japanese culture saying we want things fast. You have an entire culture of TRPGs built around very narrative in modules and adventure games dependent on the GM to do a lot of things, combined with a limited amount of dice. You end up with the JTRPG industry as it stands. Things like Shinobigami, which is a PvP game, which is odd. You end up with things like WitchQuest, where this game came out in 90. Not 99, 1990. You know, Kamigakari is this huge and extensive game, but uses exclusively D6s. That's how they use it. Hell, Tokyo Nova here uses a deck of cards. So if you combine everything together, you end up with these large amount of games. Now, why do we get certain games? Why do we get the Necro Battle Lolly RPG? Why do we get the Maid RPG? Why do we get things like Ryutama Golden Sky Stories? Well, you can kind of attribute it to kind of twofold. We like weeb shit. Not gonna lie, we like weeb shit here in the US, in just the West in general. If you had the option between Sword World, which is one of the most popular RPGs in Japan, it is one of the most popular RPGs in Japan, bar none, doesn't have a full translation outside of like a wiki that's, you know, is barely updated. But we have a full release for Golden Sky Stories, the Maid RPG, and a full fan translation of Necronica. Ryu Kamiya is not like a big guy in the Japanese sphere. He's kind of an auteur artist. He's the one who does weird games for the sake of being weird. But yet we get his games because that's what we enjoy. We won't see a lot of the games that aren't weird and Japanese because people here don't want games that aren't weird and Japanese. Hence one of the reasons why the games we're going over today are so unique. And they are unique. Now, out of all of the games, 2 have a formal release. Kamigakari has a formal release, which we'll be going over, and Shinobigami has one. WitchQuest is technically free, and Tokyo Nova is... Well, this is the fan translation for this one. It's a big fan translation. There's a lot of it. And it's not even like 1-to-1. And what do I mean by that not being 1-to-1? This was, let's take all the source books and see what we can do with it. So, now that you kind of have like a basic idea of like why JTRPGs are the way they are, you can kind of start understanding why some of the mechanics are the way they are as well. In short, Japan's fucking weird. But I love Japanese games because of their weirdness. Because you can't emphasize mechanics as much, so you have to emphasize the theme. So, of the 4 games we're going to be going over today, we're going to be going over in Shinobigami is going to be first, into WitchQuest, which is going to be a little bit later, then Kamigakari. Oh god, I'm not looking forward to this one. And finally, Tokyo Nova. So, shall we begin? So, Ninja Battle RPG Shinobigami by Tochiro Kawashima. And English edition by Kotodama Heavy Industries. Let me do a quick... Kotodama's done a few things. Yeah, pretty much, Salmon. It did. So, Kotodama Heavy Industries. These guys have been translating stuff for quite a bit, which it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're the ones who translated Tenra, which is going to be on the JTRPG number 3, which is going to go Fear Games, Ryutama, and Shinobigami. Ryutama's really fucking good. Tenra Bancho Zero is really fucking good. All these games are really good. And they're the ones who get the license for it. Now, one thing to note there is they get the license for it. A lot of these games rely on licenses from their Japanese company. While it may be the Fear company, I can't remember the full acronym, one company over here may get the license for this game, one company over here may get the license for this game, and that's where things get a little bit complicated, because this is not a small endeavor. A full translation of a book is no small feat, which is really impressive to me anytime you see like a big fan translation occur. However, the full company that did it, and to those who know Note lore a little bit, the company name may sound familiar. And if we go right over here, what? Adventure planning service, Notepad. Aren't these the guys? Let me see. Adventure planning service. Our Japan RPG. Because if you don't put Japan RPG, it doesn't work. So these guys pump out a lot of games. This is actually a branch of a company called Boken, and they pump out these games. Very fascinating. Now, you also see, like, you have Mayoka Kingdom, Dungeon Kingdom, which is a game about being in a dungeon, but the dungeon is also your kingdom. Shinobigami, which we're going to be looking at today, a literal idle RPG, and some roll and roll games. This company does a lot of things, including the best game ever, Gorilla Terra, which is a solitaire game about being a gorilla. Honestly, we don't need any other game. I mean, why bother? Yeah, no, Japanese companies and licensing gets really weird, and that's kind of due to TRPG culture there is actually not really dominated by companies. which is kind of weird to think about. You know, like the big companies, you know, produce the big ones, but a lot of TRPGs start in doujin circles, where it's like, okay, I made this book, we got a short run print of it, and I'm going to now sell this book at Comic-Con, and I'm going to feel really happy if I get 20 people to buy it. There are probably dozens, hundreds of games out there that we'll never see because they just didn't do well in Comic-Con. You know, they didn't do well in these big ones. I think, is this the company that does Game World? I think it is. So, where they use a very special psychrofiction? Is that the Securofiction? SFTTRPG. Let's see if I can find it. No, not sci-fi. Oh no. Let me see. I wrote this down because Securofiction, is that it? The system being used is one called effectively Securofiction, in which it uses a very special game system which relies heavily on, let me see if I can find an actual fucking character sheet for this. Where are you? Where are you? God damn it. Where the fuck are you? Come on, where are you? Ah, here we go. It uses this system right here, which seems a little bit odd. However, it's actually ridiculously easy. So, let's say I need you to make me a footwork check. Alright, and you only have the ventriloquism skill. So what you need to do, it's a 2d6 system. That's all literally what this game is. It's a 2d6 system. However, you determine your TN by saying you need to do a footwork skill, you have ventriloquism, you hop over to 1, 2, 3. It's 3 away. You have to roll an 8 or higher to succeed. You joke at finances being one, but you also get things like illusion, memory, performance, disguise, speed, aerial arts, olfactication. Finances is like the least weird one, but that's effectively how the system works. You have your various skill matrices, and you kind of determine where you are on them, and that's how it works. You may be saying, wow, look at all these other things. This, not really a big thing. Like, these are the only two things you really need. Well, these things are really the only thing you need to worry about. Your Ogi, which is chuny as fuck, and I love it. Your ninja gear. You have 3 pieces of ninja gear. That is all you get in this game. There's probably more in the expansion, however. And you always have close combat in your ninpo list. So, what does this actually do? Well, Shinobigami at its core is a game about being in ninja war with everybody. Now, what I mean by ninja war, yeah, everyone's a highly skilled badass in Shinobigami, because the big thing is, Shinobigami is kind of well known for one particular caveat. Fuck you, fuck your friends, I'm going to throw a fucking shuriken at you because you're a dick. The game is almost PvP focused, PvP oriented in a few ways, letting players screw with each other. Also, thank you, Pummel. Again, I guess. Letting people fuck with each other and fight each other, all leading up to this climactic final battle where everyone's jumping around, everyone's throwing shurikens, everyone's blasting, using their Ogi, which will get to the chuny as fuck Oginess, which I adore. Because we're all, oh, I just bashed my mic, which we're all a little bit chuny at the end of the day. Now, I already kind of described the sense of what the system is. It's a 2d6 system. And as you can tell, it's very anime. if you haven't told, if you haven't got that idea yet, the game's a little bit anime, just a smidge. And welcome to replay culture. Now, this is a table of contents. The rules start on page 86. Page 86 of this book, but what's this? The replay. In Japanese TRPG culture, replays are a really big, important facet of it. Pretty much, you write down what happened in kind of a story almost. And in that story, you can later sell it. There are actually full books being sold in Japan which are replays of people playing their sessions, of people going through things, of talking about the adventures they went on. And replay culture is a big deal. Down to the point where the first half of this book is this. Very simple, very... They go over it. You are literally watching an entire session play out. It's almost like an actual play. And if you want a better explanation of it, this is it. They have the little pictures, and maybe saying, wow, this release sucks because there's no artwork in it. And wow, oh goodness, it's awful and bad, and you shouldn't like it. When I said a lot of these were sold at Comic-Cons and very physical copies, I wasn't lying. These are supposed to be kind of barren. The artwork isn't a big thing. You have occasional pieces of artwork like light novels, but it's, again, supposed to be like a light novel almost. You have limited artwork, and you have maximum stuff. You have stuff in it, you have rules, you have ideas, and you can argue that some of them are trying to get the replays, because, as Pummel here says, replays sell really well. Call of Cthulhu replays, you can buy books of that. Entire books. Haha. I'm Dracula. But there's a lot here, which we're not going to go over. If you want to read this, go for it. But just understand, shit gets wacky. Shit gets weird. People are engaging in ninja war with each other. And the velocity system is fucking phenomenal, which everyone should totally use. Here's our anime as fuck characters. Don't worry. We're still going through. And you're going to like it. Okay, well, no, we're not quite done yet. No, okay, we're almost there. We're almost at the end. Okay, we're almost there. We're getting there. Just a little bit more. Okay, we finally hit the ending of this. Now we can actually get to how to play the fucking game. Okay, we have to go through all the things you will need in order to play Shinobigami. I didn't realize it's just that. I thought it was players. Friends. You need friends to play this. So, I mean, a lot of us are already kind of fucked in that regard. However, at the end of the day, you also have to deal with this. Do you like rolling? Do you like randomness? Because we're going to find random things all throughout this fucking game. So we have a fictional last name and a legendary first name. Let's find out what our fictional last name is. 2d6, 4 to 2. We are we're Takashi. Let's find our first name. So Takashi, and where are we? Yes. Cetera. Takashi Cetera. Congratulations, we made a fucking name. Determine whatever, it doesn't matter. These are the 6 super ninja awesome clans. Yeah, I know, Salmon. JRPGs really rely a lot on randomness. And that's, if you get to the idea that these are supposed to be kind of pick up and play in some regards, it makes things a lot easier. You're not probably going to play this character again. And if you don't have that connection to the character, perhaps you're not too fussed about it. Yeah, you know, it's like replays are astounding for actually like learning how to play, which honestly I'm surprised that we haven't adopted here yet, but we're gonna get like our really awkward ones. Now, I'm gonna go over the ninja clans because these are the ninja clans, otherwise known as the cool ones that do ninja clan things. So, we have, starting from the best one, the Hirsaka Agency. It's Japan saying stop engaging in ninja wars with each other. Also, they're possibly belonging to a Shinto priest who may or may not be a god in some way, but don't worry, it's Japan. It's literally bureaucracy, the ninja clan. The Otogi Private Academy, Anime Girls, Lost Ones, We Don't Belong to Any Clan, Making Us a Clan, the Hasuba Ninja Army, mimicking, literally, I'm going to copy from your homework, the anime clan, the Kurosami Shin clan. They do stuff. I guess they're boring, I don't like them. And Bloodline of the Oni, the second best one, which the entire idea is you need to resurrect the Shinobigami because you're a fucking demon. There's my completely unbiased opinion on all the clans. And if you're like, wait a second, Notepad, that doesn't seem like a very good explanation. Fuck you. Hirsaka Agency, Bloodline of the Oni, #1. Fuck you, stupid ninja army, you dumbasses. They're boring. So if you ever watch Naruto, you already know how the ranks work. Everyone's starting as a chunin. Does that mean you're all chunies? Yes. Because this is when you actually get to your ogi. Now, I'm going to go over what these kind of mean right here, rather than going through the individual sections. Your ninpo is the amount of stuff you can do. These are like your actions that you're able to do, as well as some passive effects that can occur. Skills are the thing that on your actual sheet, telling you what you can do and where you are and specialized in them. Your Ogi is your super tuny power, allowing you to be a super tuny and just do something completely insane. There's a literal chart. That's really it. You can go really complicated with it and go over everything. However, oh yeah, these lame asses. Fucking 0 out of 10, what a bitch. This man gets pegged. There we go. Now you understand why Hirsaka Agency is the best agency. Right here. You can understand. 0 out of 10. And you also get to see this. All I want to say is, whoever did the art for this game definitely had a preference. And that's not bad. Roll a d6 to determine your cover. Doesn't matter. Welcome. Welcome to the things. Like, a lot of these don't really matter that much. Like, the conviction doesn't matter. Now we get to the various skills. Now, skills are like what makes the character and allows them to do things. There's a lot of skills. However, they don't really do much. How do I word it? Yeah, they don't really, quote, do much. Having the hidden weapon skills mean that you can be able to conceal weapons and use such weapons. You're like, okay, that makes sense. Acupuncture. Why do I need acupuncture? Why do I need, like, why is climbing on the same thing as demolition? Because of how the game systems work, having climbing could mean the difference between being able to succeed at a check and not being able to. So you're encouraged to kind of spread yourself around, but also kind of focus in on a few core ones, but also kind of debate on where things are going. You create a very fascinating character of things and skills, abilities, and concepts all kind of merging together. And like by the end of character creation, you know exactly what you're doing. And you know exactly how you're going to get fucked. because the enemy is doing the exact same shit, and they're going to throw a goddamn fucking shuriken at your ass. The game is also incredibly brutal. These skill categories, those aren't just skill categories. They're also your health. So, for example, if I take some damage, I might have to mark off my technology. I can't use any of the skills I have in there anymore. So if I've dumped everything in the technology, I'm getting, like, my abilities are really limited now. I've lost something. And this can apply to anything, which things can get really hairy really fast. And that's kind of one of the main draws of how the combat functions. When you hit someone in melee, you randomly determine what you take off. If you hit someone at range, they get to determine what gets taken off. So if I shoot you with a gun, you can say, oh, I'll knock off sorcery, because I have literally nothing in sorcery. It's useless. I've not lost any of my ability. Like, I'm hurt. Oh yeah, it doesn't really matter though. Randomly though, and I get hit in my strategy, and I had 6 fucking skills in strategy. I have 6 skills that I no longer have, and I'm now panicking. It's like, oh no, I don't have things. I need things now. Now, Ninpo are exactly what you think it are, what you think they are. They're abilities. And it's things like Crosscut, Poison Fist, Longicorn? Yeah. Sandbind, range comp, like basic range attacks, blast, surefire. All of these abilities do things that allow you to augment things into other things. This is what the character is really built around. Things like the Wind Dancer Ninpo. You may use this Ninpo if you deal damage to someone. On a successful skill check of this Ninpo's skill, you may use the same attack Ninpo again immediately, paying the cost a second time. I'm going to punch you so hard that I can hit you again. Then you have things like resupply. You may joke about finances. Don't worry, I can buy more ninja gear. You know, it's all these useful things all kind of boil up together. Exactly, because all of the skill is just what you have to check against. Doesn't necessarily mean what you need to use for it. So, because you can get things like such as, let's see, resolution. You may use this Ninpo when you reveal your plot value. On successful skill check of this Ninpo skill, you may add 1 to your plot value, to a maximum of 7. You need to roll transformation. If you don't have transformation, you just have to make that check using one of the other ones. So if you have, for example, sword, or if you have something nearby, I can't think of, like necromancy, yeah, you can just use that. You just have to make a check. It's a little bit more difficult, but you can still make the check with that resolution. So if you use necromancy for this one, pretty much it's like, oh, I want to tune my reflexes to perfection. It's your body snaps into place as you're just like, yeah, I'm going to animate my own bones inside my body so I go faster so I can kick your ass. It's like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. And then you can immediately kind of get the descriptions and ideas behind every attack, everything that you do, every action that you perform makes sense. Yeah, exactly. It leads to these crazy over-the-top descriptions because it's just like, how the fuck am I going to justify using emotional manipulation with a rope? Well, actually, that's a terrible one because we don't know how that works. God bless you, Van. And all of these things mean something. Wait, when your attack battle damage 4 more rounds have passed. Don't worry, I'll use my starvation ability. Like, you literally are just going to break down. Like, you attrition them to death. There are a lot of these, letting you kind of combo them together and make your own. Now, this is Ogi. I like Ogi and I don't like Ogi at the same time. Ogi is your superpower. Your really cool, awesome power that lets you do something insane. And you get 7 of them. That's the part I don't like. I would like if there were more. And apparently in, like, source books, there are more. But I don't have those source books. However, these ones do work. It's things like critical hit. Place an attack, choose a character within 1 plot value as the target, choose 4 categories at random by rolling dice, and the target marks those life points as lost. Out of those couple handful of skills, I'm going to critical hit you and do a lot of fucking damage. And it hurts. Immortal Body. You recover life points equal to 1d6 minus the number of times this Ogi has been used. In a game where taking 2 damage could possibly be lethal, being able to say, nah, very useful. Perfect success. Automatically succeed. Dark interference. Ogi is used after another character appearing in the same scene and roll for a skill check. The skill becomes target. You may turn one of the target's dice into a 1. Oh, cool. Look, everyone. I succeeded because I rolled a 12 on my 2d6. You rolled a 7 on your 2d6 and you failed because you're a loser. Now, this is where things get... Let's say we have a critical hit here. I rolled a 4. Let's name our special attack. Demon Blade. Ogi name decision chart. We rolled a 7. Heaven plus nature. So, here's the beauty in nature. So yeah, we ended up with heaven plus nature. 6/6. We have to deal with... yes, Demon Blade Crimson. And we gotta make another check here. A 3 and a 4. Alright, 34. Katana. If you are not in this right here, if you do not feel comfortable shouting Demon Blade Crimson Katana while probably making some aggressive hand maneuver, this game isn't for you. I'm saying that at like the deepest section of my heart. This game demands that you embrace the anime bullshit. If you do not feel comfortable being Demon Blade Crimson Katana and using it to critical hit someone's face using a goddamn blood red katana because you're just that cool, maybe this isn't for you. And if you look at things purely mechanical, there are combos that you can do that are like, this is just optimal. If you look at things from a sheer mechanical, sheer robotic look, this means nothing. At the end of the day, you have 7 abilities. At the end, you have 7 of these superpowers, and they all do the same thing. There might be 3 people with critical hits, but at the end, you're still going to have a critical hit. It's not going to be anything else. It's going to be a critical hit. Your immortal body, it doesn't do anything special. No, it's going to be immortal body. If 2 people have the same immortal body ability, it might be named differently, but it's going to do the same thing. But if you can look past that, and you can create these larger-than-life abilities, and kind of get into the fact of, I'm throwing 1,000 acupuncture needles at you while I counter with my katana sword as I deflect all of them immediately. Katana sword? Man, I'm sounding like a boomer. That's it. If you can understand that you have 3 items in this game. You have Beads of Life, Soma Pills, and Prayer Seals. These are all you have. You don't have anything more. That's just something you have to accept. If you can deal with that, the game's fun. The game's interesting, even. The game's insane, even. But if you can't, maybe not. This is also one of the big things about JRPGs is the scene systems. Now, scene systems have been used in a few other games, but phases are things which are kind of like how to plan out a session, which are really good to read even if you don't want to run the game. Reading these is actually a really good idea because it tells you, here's the introduction phase, this is what you need to do. Here's the main phase, what someone is doing something. Here's a drama scene where people are conversing, people are doing something. And you have to make checks during this time, and then we have to make recovery checks, and we have to make information checks. We're trying to find things out from people. And people are also sharing information about, because we don't know. Do you know what her superpower is? I don't know. But he knows, so maybe I want to talk to him. What's her superpower? How can I kill the person who apparently can just shrug off bullets? Like, don't worry. Her Ogie's immortal body. She's already used it twice. We can kill her. We can stop her. But it's awkward at first. And I think that's one of like the core things I really want to go over with all of these games today. This game looks intimidating. Holy shit, it looks intimidating sometimes. You open it up and it's this white book, and yeah, you got some anime art sprinkled throughout. But like, what the hell is this? Like, why? Like, what are all these abilities do? They're all insane. How do they interact with each other? And it's easy to get really overwhelmed with this. And it's easy to be afraid of it. Of kind of like sit back and like, oh, I don't know. It's a 195-page book of things I've never tried before, and it's so completely different. How do we even deal with it? The answer is, you have to do it. And that's one thing I want to do, is I want to introduce people to these and say, like, it's not complicated. It's not scary. It's really simple. And these simple ideas build on top of each other to make something big. Because again, at the end of the day, it's a 2d6 system. All of this shit doesn't really fucking matter. It's a 2d6 system. Yeah, Shinobigami does have its very own unique flavor to things, which is a little bit different. And I think people just get worried about it just because it's like, wait, PvP? Because we get trained here on our side, PvP bad. This game, PvP only way to play. And we need to play with hardcore PvP, which is where combat scenes come in, and I really like the combat system in this game. I fucking adore it, because it's very simple. You say what you're going to do, you resolve it, and then you end the round. However, this beautiful system right here, the velocity system. I adore the velocity system. And I'm going to tell you why I adore it. So, me and you, we've entered a battle. We, clink, clink, clink. We're ready. We're going to fight. We can do this. We got to determine how fast we're going. Now, this speed also determines our fumbles. If I roll that or below, I fumble. It also determines how fast you're going. If I say, okay, I'm going to put myself at 5, I roll a 5 or less, I'm going to fumble. Something's going to go wrong. I'm fucked. But if you put yourself on 3, well, you're going a little bit slower than me. I'm going to act first. But this also is the battle area. So if I'm at 5 and you're at 3, I can't just run up and smack you with a sword. We're too far away from one another. I'm either going to have to come to you or you're going to have to come to me, or I'm just going to pull out a fucking knife and yeet it at you. This system is claustrophobic, especially when you have 4 or 5 people in here, all setting their pieces down at once, and everyone's looking at it and be like, oh my god, there's 2 of us at 4, there's 2 of us at 5, but there's only 1 of us at 2. But that person has range on all of us. Oh shit. The one person who has a gun is too far away. What are we gonna do? We need to kill them, but we can't get there because if I move, you're gonna attack me, and it becomes this the game almost begins when you all put down your tokens And you all look at each other like, oh God, what are we doing? And this is like one of the core things of Japanese game design that I adore. You have to take what you have and make it work. This is 3 systems in one. This is your initiative, this is your battle map, and this is also your fumble chance on things. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? In any other game, it wouldn't work, but it works beautifully in this because it's supposed to be this kind of more aggressive combat, and everyone's going quickly, and everyone's like, oh God, everyone's ready. And when you actually slam into each other at as fast as possible, y'all look at each other and it's like, oh God, we've done it. We're ready. And we're terrified. And yeah, fight. Kill each other. Throw ninja stars at each other. Who cares? Now, the big thing is, the final bit of any session is the climax phase. Everything is building up to the climax. And when you drop out of the battle, you're out. That's it. The session is over at this point. You know, the game has ended. And you forfeit the prize, but the prize might be valuable, so you want to stick in there, but if you stick in for too long, well, you may not make it. But that's okay. Because you also made this character in 20 minutes. Because you made this character in 20 minutes, you're not really overly attached, but you're also really attached to them and want to make them do crazy things. It's okay. And that's always okay. Also, you can break other people's superpowers if you feel like, by making a check. But the game is really about secrets, about information, about trying to find things, what people are using, and throwing themselves at each other. How do you put in 3 ninjas who all want the same thing but cannot work together in a situation and how they kill each other? It's go for it. It's insane. It's crazy. People are trying to kill each other, and that's okay. There's also lore, but who the fuck cares? It's lore. And that's Shinobigami. I could have gone through more. I could have gone through like all the nitty gritty things, but what I wanted to do here more than anything is introduce you to this game and really have you embrace the fact that you have things like the end of the beginning when you attack character or plot value that you deal 1 range damage in addition to the attack's normal effects. Why? Because you're cool like that. And you're also Kurashim, which we don't like because they're losers. 0 out of 10 would not. But Shinobigami is such a unique game, and I think people just get worried about it because it's just like, all right, everybody, we're going to play the anime game. And everyone looks at it and they're like, oh no. Oh God. Now, is it flawless? Of course not. But I think the main issue with Shinobigami is that you have to be invested in it. You have to be in that mind space, that head space. Because if one person is not, you got a group of 4 or 5 people, and one person is not in that headspace, it's not ready to say Crimson Demon Blade Katana Strike, the game will fall apart. Because the illusion is broken. We're not in a ninja battle anymore. We are playing a game where we're all waiting around to see whose information's what. We're trying to game the system. And if one person does that, the illusion breaks. The cracks in the glass become visible. I think that's the biggest problem with Shinobigami, is the people playing it define it. And that kind of barrier is scary to a lot of people. Because it's just like, oh, I'm not really in it. Do I really want to pretend to be a fucking ninja battle? And what I'm saying is, do it. Embrace ninja battle. Embrace this. Because it's a one-of-a-kind game. I really wish people would play it more. Now we're going to move on to our second game. Now, Yeah, as Pummel says, like, if you get people who kind of get into it and know it, people are going to enjoy it. But you're going to lose something magical about it. And if you play it raw with just numbers and looking at everything analytically, Shinobigami is good. It's a 2d6, but at the end of the day, it's a 2d6 system. If you see it as that, a 2d6 system, game's okay. People are going to like it. People are going to smile and be like, yeah, this was fun. I had fun. I did this. I did a rope thing, and I ninja fat. But if you embrace it, embrace the chaos, well, that's where things become magical. Speaking about magical things, we're going to move on to our next game. Not you. WitchQuest. Book 2, playing the game. Book 1 is a replay. And this is again by the Adventure Planning Service, but this is an old game by the Adventure Planning Service. A real old game. It came out in 1990. Which is weird to think, isn't it? 1990. A game came out for people to play. And in that game, people did things, and it was like cool. I also tried to find things on all of these guys, on the Apple Basic system, or any of that. I cannot find anything. Mostly when it comes to the Sakai Shinsho-sha, because Sakai Shinsho-sha, I'm gonna keep mispronouncing this goddamn thing. Holy shit. Well, these guys are hard to find if you can't quite get the idea. And a lot of these are older, and they are kind of like these. It's hard to find a lot of these, actually. It's really hard. And looking around, I did find some. Let me see, the Apple Basic role-playing system. If you find it here, it's basic role-playing, it's BRP. That's what kind of immediately pops up. If I were to kind of go deeper down, I could probably find some more. But all these games, Tale of Two Rivers RPG, and a plethora of these other games, it's not there anymore. And that's what I mean, like, we don't really have them anymore. There's a lot of games out there that we just don't see anymore. They're gone. And that's kind of a shame. And that's why I kind of want to introduce people to WitchQuest, because WitchQuest is adorable. And it's also pretty fucking ruthless. Okay, I'm going to change the music. Sex love. Yeah, no, it's like, it's an older game, and I looked at some of the ones. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. Nothing. Don't really find anything on it. But WitchQuest is a game about being witches. You're all 13, and you're learning about things. You only have 3 attributes: normal, witch, and broom. This is a really narrative game, which is weird because this was right during the era when narrative games weren't really a thing. Hell, you have things such as, your normal skills are like courtesy, dance, manual labor, and wonderful smile. Your broom skills are like aerial balance, cat fighting, flying fast, fly with a load, fly without your cat. It's adorable in its own way, and I think that beauty is in its simplicity. Do you want to make a character? All right, let's make a character, everybody. You are ready to become a little witch? Aw, yeah, let's fucking do it. All right. Let's make a witch. So our stats are going to be normal, witch, and broom. And I'm gonna find out what my normal stats are. I got a 3. Let's roll my witch. I got a 4. My broom, 1. I'm not getting on a fucking broom. I'm gonna fucking die if I do that. All right, this is pretty easy. You know, once you figure out, you have to move on the skills. Skills represent each character's specialties. For each factor, pick out as many skills as you're rating, and then roll a d6 on top of them. So, with our adorable witch girl here, we need to pick a 3. We're going to obviously pick read books because we like books. We're going to have running. Actually, not running. We're terrible at athletics. Wonderful smile and courtesy. And we have to roll a d6 for each of these. I got a 6 and a 4. 6, 4, and what's our wonderful smile score? 3. You're already kind of getting the idea, I think. This game's really simple, but it also is ruthless in its own way. Hit points. Roll 2 dice, add them together, add 12. This is total, which is total HP. Stamina or luck, how witch-like she is. Witches lose HP when they take damage, metal, and penalty for certain actions. A witch whose HP goes below 0 is normally considered to have died. Which they can instead have it be that she gives up being a witch, gets married and retires, etc. But regardless, she leaves the game. Witch goes below 0 HP while you're playing. You can create a new witch and start playing again. This is pretty fucking brutal. Because it's like, you don't have that much HP. And it's like, what? This is a fluffy narrative game about doing adorable witch things. Why is HP in this? Like, why can I get hurt? Like, well, this is where things get a little bit weird. One of the cool things, too, is that it actually uses tarot readings. Oh, gosh, yeah, this is where things get really weird. When you go on a tarot thing, you go with tarot. You don't fuck around with it. Everything is determined by tarot decks, so determining what your magical days are, what your not your magical days, and which mana do you have on certain powers. Oh, magical power changes every day based on the moon. You figure out your magical path on each day. You have to randomly select one. It's insane. It's great. It's really weird. Now, the other one, yeah, 0 HP. Haha, Lamau dead. Fuck you. You also get a cat. Now, your cat is literally a cat, and if you want, you can play the cat, which makes this game actually pretty good for kids if you kind of ignore the hit points. Because it's like, oh boy, look, here's my cat. I'm doing cat stuff. Like, if you have like a parent play the cat and like, okay, little Tim, not little Tim, little Susie, you're a witch. You're 13 years old. Let's go on witch adventures together. And she's like, oh boy, here's my new cat who's my best friend. And you do that. Problem is, you might get depressed and not want to do anything for a while, but you can't stay down for a better. If your partner's cat goes to 0, in order to continue being a witch, you must seek out a new cat to become a new partner. Oh my. It's complicated, and it's kind of that weird thing. And it's like, oh wow. And each cat has a tail name and a whiskers name, everyday life, something that should be somewhere, but that you don't know it easily. And you go through your ages, and you only have 2 attributes. for negative HP. Yeah, you could probably put in something like that. But like the idea of like your cat attributes, you have two cats. You have strength and beauty. Male cats have strength 2, beauty 1. Female cats have strength 1, beauty 2. That's it. Congratulations. We've done it. You don't have skills because you're a fucking cat. But what you do have is death. You can still die. Because again, you don't actually have that much health. Now, this is the one part that kind of broke me a little bit, is cats have a spell called Farewell My Witch, in which you can go to the cat graveyard when you hit 0. What this means is, once you hit 0 health, you can say, I don't want my witch. I don't want this girl that I bonded with, my partner, my friend, to see me die. So I'm going to use a spell that costs 0 to go to the cat graveyard so she doesn't have to see me. And it's like, oof. It's like, fucking oof. However, whatever terrible fate befalls you, the person you most want to witness such a thing, in other words, your partner, will not have to see it. And it's like, oh man. Like, and the idea is supposed to kind of get across the idea of what cats do when they are on kind of death's door. For those who don't know, cats, when they kind of know their time is up, they'll hide. They will go somewhere, lay down, and just hide away from everyone and pass away. Because they literally don't want to burden anyone else. That's how they view it. Cats are really odd in that regard. And it's really sad and fascinating at the same time of just like cat logic when it comes to that. Like, I don't want to be a burden on my family, so I'm just going to leave. So it's like, oh. This isn't say-so. This isn't happy anymore. Now, one thing to note is cats have cat points. Cat points are really cool and really weird because that is it's your ability to help the witch out to do things. They can use your cat points to do things with. However, this is the catch. Any cat points spent, you can spend on improving you, the cat. Any what's ever left over with your cat points, though, the witch gets. Which is really an interesting dynamic of the witch doesn't want to use your help to get the most XP. You, as the cat, want her to rely on you, your partner. So it's kind of comes like this, like, please, I'm begging you, let me help you. And she's like, I don't want your help, but I also need your help. And it does. If your witch partner goes below 0 HP, your witch partner might find someone and get married. When that happens, all that remains for you to do is quietly leave. Fuck. Fuck. Now, the system is also completely insane. That I've read this section like 6 times, and I'm like, this is fucking with me, right? But no. This section is not, as you might hear the storm. So, in this situation, he or she might excel. Rolling dice determined. We call this a challenge. Pick up 2 dice and roll them as many times as you rank in that attribute or skill. If the dice comes up as doubles, at least once, you succeed. If you get doubles more than once, you succeed that much more. It's a 2d6 system, but you have to roll dubs. So if I want to do a broom check, I would need to roll my dice to get dubs. And it's like, oh, sweet Jesus. Let me see. Cat points remaining if you do this. Ask for help. Cat offer to help. Cat agrees to help. You could roll the dice 1 to 3 extra times. You'll use up 1 cat point for each extra roll you make. Run out of cat points, you cannot use them to get rolls anymore. This system is weird. Very weird. And I think this is like one of the parts that's like really hard to be like, hey everyone, you want to play WitchQuest? Like, this system's completely insane. I do also enjoy this part. If you wish, you can simply not use the rules for fighting. There's nothing wrong with playing an RPG without any fighting. And you don't really need to. And I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, you don't really need to. Your attack power is 0. No matter how many attacks you land, you won't do any damage. So if you rolled any ones, you better use it for covering your friends instead. You take HP enemy's attack power. Don't fight. Fighting sucks. You have to rely on your cat to do all the fighting. So I want you to picture you are a tiny little witch girl and something wants to hurt you. And I mean like just beat the shit out of you. And all you have is a broom, a big fluffy hat, and your stupid cat. Congratulations. It's time for combat. Don't do combat. This game isn't really built for this. This is what is the term they used in, they used the term in Golden Sky Stories, and I've adored that term forever. Everyday magic, that's what it is. And the idea behind everyday magic is it's an everyday adventure, it's an everyday thing, you just happen to have magic. And as you continue your adventures, as you go through your days, you'll be using your magic to make things a little bit easier, make things a little bit more complicated as you go on witch quests. Now, if that sounds awfully familiar to you, let me do a little bit. Now, am I saying that WitchQuest may have a little influence from the 1989 release date of the incredibly popular Studio Ghibli movie, Kiki's Delivery Service, in which which the main girl has a fucking magic cat, and she is in fact a witch? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of maybe there's some crossover. I don't know. Maybe it's a crossover episode. Who knows? But yeah, it's the Kiki's Delivery Service game. If you treat WitchQuest like Kiki's Delivery Service, you're going to have a good time. If you don't treat it like that, you're not. It's not going to be fun. Mostly because this is the combat section. And now we get to the magic. Magic, I don't understand magic. I want to be the first one to say it. Because there is a lot. To do anything with magic. User's level of power. The difficulty of magic being attempted. How much the target of the magic believes in it. And your magical powers, once you're casting it, depending on what you can't. When using, check what your magical power is in the current moon age. The difficulty of the magic. 2 to 12, but the killer's very difficult spells and difficulty of 1 or less. They can be 0 or negative numbers sometimes. And very easily spells can difficulties of 13 or higher. Here's a reference for the difficulty levels. You need to roll under these. Oh no. You can decide what difficulty of each spell would be. Just roll 2 dice and add them together. Use that. What's the difficulty? Fuck it, it's 3. Fuck it, it's 5. Fuck it, who cares? We're living in a grind set era right now. Being a witch ain't easy. Being a Sigma witch is not easy. And this is like a big idea, is the power of belief. There are entire sections dedicated to how people, belief in magic affects things. and how it kind of influences your ability to actually use magic in areas, you know. And it's like, oh hey, a town with people in it, it gets a little bit more complicated, but the Forest Mountain Village can just add, better. Something made by a witch is really easy to be believed because it's made by a witch. But it's like something made by someone who doesn't believe in magic. Modern conveniences. Alright, we'll try to use magic. Add up these 3 numbers. Magical power, difficulty of the spell, target's belief level. Spell success rate. Roll 2 dice and multiply them together. Equal to or less than the spell success rate, your spell succeeds. I've been trying to find the spell success rate. Actually, let's do it. Okay, that's the spell success rate. So after we add all these together, we roll 2 dice. I rolled 2. I got a 9. I succeed. This shit is whack. This shit is really whack. And does it work? Sort of. It sort of works. It's weird, but it works. And cats, of course, cats have their completely different magic on things. Cats have actually a set of actual spells that they have. And meow, bitch. This is what you get. Now, let me see if I can find the cat spells. Also, the witch's magic list can do anything with several sections spells about what you can do. Cat shot, static electricity. Ooh woo, look at me. Here's my spells. Haha, cat become the wind. You can really change your cat to do anything. This is the cool thing. It's like, this is pain, go away. Nice of HP to a person that's been injured. Oh no, someone's injured. How do we help? Claws or tiger claws. Oh wow, look, it's adorable. Look, it's a little kitty cat. Oh meow. Creation. This spell creates a world. You roll 2 6s. You will destroy another world. Why is this here? Big Bang. Difficulty -1000. 1000. This is an impossible spell to pull off. The spell creates a universe. You will destroy another world. This is like right over. This is right here next to sneeze. This makes a target sneeze. Destroy reality. Sneeze. These most viewers I've ever had. No, actually. The most viewers I ever had was during another Curious Case. I got up to 12 people. It was nuts. I think, what game was I going over? I can't remember. It was a really weird game. I remember that. People were like, I'm interested. Now, cats get all their things. Guess what? It's all cat. Cat whiskers, cat tongue. Where is the ultimate spell that it's like, it's time. It's time for gamers. Grooming. Here we are. Meow. You immediately find a cool place and sit there. Very handy for getting a place to sleep and regain magic points. Yeah, 12, I know, it's astounding. There's a spell here to find a cool place to sit down and hang out. This is the kind of shit we're dealing with. This is some hardcore gamer hours. Hide your shame. Effectively hide it. Fuck it, not my problem. Oh yeah, my absolute favorite. This is the ultimate alpha male cat move. This is the true, gamer move. Not before breakfast. Costs 1 magic point. You can sit there and do nothing until you get fed. Until your witch gets you at least one meal's worth of food, she cannot get you to help her at all. There is no reason to do this spell outside of being a dick. This will be going up later. And it's like, oh Lord. And exactly, like, if you're in this, if you want to play Not Before Fucking Breakfast, you're in it. And like, oh, farewell, my witch. I had cats growing up. I loved my cats, and so seeing this, I'm like, oh, my feelings. Here's our pleasant little shuffle on things, and yeah, we can't forget there is an entire section on how to do fortune telling. So if you ever wanted to know how to do fortune telling, pick up WitchQuest. It's free. It will tell you how to literally do everything. It's like, what? Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Yeah, no, WitchQuest is actually a free game. You can find it on, I think it's, he pronounces it Aaron Clooney. Yeah, it's not Ewan Clooney like I always thought, but I think it's like Aaron Clooney. Even though I have mistakenly call him Ewan Clooney for a while there. I think it's like Clunny, but that doesn't sound much better. What I'm saying is, you have a very unfortunate name. It's on his site, I believe, and it's a very cute game. I want you to check it out. Is it entirely beautifully white and with absolutely barely any pictures in it? Yes. And I bring that up because a lot of the time people get really turned off by these things when it's like, wow, this game looks atrocious, because it's just difficult to look at. Here is this bright white thing. Opening it up on your phone, you go blind. Opening up on the computer, it's this giant white document. We see that as kind of a cardinal sin. Like, you can't do that. It's not pretty enough. You need something pretty, and you need something big and exciting. Here, I'll just bring up like a random game. Let's see. One of my favorite games. This is Barbarians of Lemuria. Barbarians of Lemuria is not actually a very complex game, but as you can kind of see, there's color everywhere. Your eyes are being immediately drawn to things. It's like, oh, hey, look at this lady. You scroll down. Oh, wow, look, he looks old and like an alchemist. Like, you can immediately kind of snap to pictures, which people like. JRPGs can't do that. You don't get color in those, because again, they're usually done by people for comic cats. They're not for they're not for public release, really. Well, they are for public release, but in a different way, public release. And hell, even if we go like all the way down, like in the middle sections, like, oh yeah, here's what they look here, and here's how he looks. You're immediately getting like artwork, and things are popping out at you. WitchQuest doesn't. WitchQuest has this. This is your artwork in WitchQuest. This is the artwork you see in a lot of different games with these. They're very simple, very clean, very to the point. I think that's one of the other reasons why people kind of get intimidated by it. Like, wow, these are just words, and I'm scared of these. Like, we kind of need that constant, stimuli. And that's why I always, in my games, I always like putting images in the book. Because it's like, immediately it draws your eyes to thing. When you're going through, you're reading the rules, you're like, oh, here's an image. It's not like it's like almost like your brain is seeing it, and you're immediately like, okay, I can see this. This has something to do with this. I'm going to read it. Or, hey, here's this. I can kind of look over. It's just playing with your brain. Some of these games don't have that. And I think that's what fucks with people a lot. Alright, so now we get to do the unfun one. The really unfun one. Kamigakari. Now, Kamigakari is a very unique game. And it has a little bit of a story behind it. And let me see if I can find it was a company that did it. Two things to note. Rikazu here, he actually passed away, I think, last year. Medical stuff was going on there, so it's like, oh, well, that's kind of sucks. And let me see if I can falsify it. Now, the company that does this is Arclight Incorporated. Now, you may be wondering, Notepad, okay, let's find Arclight Incorporated. All right, gamers, you ready to find them? Arclight Capital, you gotta. Most things, what you have to do is immediately open up by the fact that it's not that. You're going to have to go to other things. And sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, this is the shit you find when it comes to Arclight, which is supply. You have to find like supply chain information. Or it's like, all right, time to find the Arclight company. Like, this is what you get. It's hobby goods. They're a hobby company at the end of the day. Very cool people, very interesting games. But their main thing is that they are the ones who usually end up translating a lot of games over to Japan. They're the ones who actually translated things like Root over. That's how they're kind of claim to fame. They do like the Japanese release of Gloomhaven, Twilight Imperium, Great Western Trail, Terraforming Mars, Scythe. They have their own set of games, which are, yeah, here. No, not now. We don't need this. We'll navigate it by our hearts. Oh, here's Arclight Games. Product, yeah. So here's all the products, all the games. And this is what they do. And some people adore this, some people don't. But at the end of the day, they are a board game company who does cool games. You know, I'm like trying... Okay, that's the contact us, I think. Let's actually... Let's see if we can find... Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. Nope, go away. Let's translate this. All right. Representative director, officer. They only have 111 people, full-time employees. Business description, affiliates, history of the company. They're established in 98. They're actually a pretty young company, all things considered. And if you ever want to find out where they're in the heart of this shit. Oh, jeez. Let me see if I can find any of their other RPG stuff. But like Kamigakari was kind of one of their big games out here. They haven't really had any like big games come out in the West, but Kamigakari was it. However, Kamigakari, if we go to the special place. I wonder if the thread is still up. Kamigakari has a massive fan following, which is a weird thing. But like, here's this fan group who's been translating the book for a while now, and the fan translation was done. It's a very good fan translation, even. Probably one of the best ones that you're going to find. It's extensive, it has all the rules, it has everything you need on it. However, something happened in 2018, and this is why I wasn't really excited to go over this one. And that something was on our favorite website. Serpent Sea Games. Now, who are Serpent Sea Games? Well, Serpent Sea is, if we actually like look them up, they're nothing. This is their only game. And they don't really have that many idea. Like, they don't really have much. Kamigakari is like the only really big thing they do. And it's like, okay, like, what's the problem here? Well, there's two problems. One, they got 80 grand on this of the 18,000 goal, and we still have not received any physical copy yet. Very fascinating. And then you see things like this. Thank you, Nizumi. Just feel like pointing out that the leads literally ran away with the money and punish people on the project who use Kickstarter account to reveal that this is claimed. Somehow it was fine. It did end game, never come out, and not ban putting up all the money needed to finish it after the project lead again ran away with it. This person's ESL is what I'm saying, and very painful to read. What happened was, well, actually, here, let me see if I can find the full. I wrote this down just because the saga was a little bit strange, and it was one of those things like I needed to go over it in my own way. All right. So, in short, Amy Veers was the head of Serpent Games. This was their company and their thing. They were already somewhat known for being notorious for leaking information from Onyx Path games, as well as possibly Shadowrun. Early leaks on Exalted 3rd Edition were because of this woman. However, they have also had influence on other parts, and they have worked with the community of Kamigakari on the fan translation side. So, she gets the license from Arclight to publish Kamigakari officially. Works with the community that had already finished the fan translation. The fan translation was fucking done. You could play Kamigakari for the past about 3 years now. Actually, past about 4 or 5 years now. So about 3 years ago, she's like, all right, we can publish this officially. We've contacted Arclight. We've got our publishing rights. We've got everything we need. We're going to go to Kickstarter. And the thing is, she brings on everybody. Some of the major translators from the fan project, some even Ewan, because we can't escape Aaron, because he does everything Japanese TRPG related in one way or another. And the project blows past its goals and succeeds. Everything is good and great. Then Amy happened. Amy, the story gets a little bit muddled here, because there was things that happened behind the scenes that nobody knew. One thing that occurred was that Amy apparently received the money and spent it. Not on Kamigakari, not the books. She spent it on herself. And there were huge chunks of the money that should have gone to the production of the game that went instead to her lifestyle, which was very bad, including the multiple GoFundMe pages. So it gets a little bit strange. Let me see. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, so GoFundMe. There was apparently 2 GoFundMes for this. And is this a new one? Yeah, they had a few of these to get some money from debt and other problems. And then things happen, and that money is gone. That almost $80,000 here is gone. They got the PDF out. You can buy the PDF. Yeah. There hasn't been any physical versions out. And one thing that also occurred there was, outside the money being spent, they also went through a company called Kraken Publishing. Kraken Publishing, if we go Kraken Publishing was a printing house. Yeah, there we go, Kraken Press. And Kraken Press went under. $5,000 was gone in a moment as they went under and took the money and ran, which honestly isn't the worst thing. Then the internal squabbles begin. Amy had not kind of clarified the fact to the team that there were problems of some of the major translators wanted to get the license from her directly, while she said no, we're doing it ourselves. And then things occurred and people left the project. People are still in the project. Amy got bullied off of Twitter, but now she's back apparently. The PDF is released. But as of 2021, no physical books and no expansions, even though Arclight has made part of the agreement for them to produce their own things for Kamigakari. Which is why you can kind of see there's a little bit of issues with Kamigakari. The fan translation community has a deep and abiding hatred of Miss Amy, and for good reason. There are unsubstantiated claims that she was trying to take down the fan translations, that she was doing things in an effort to pretty much fuck with people about the game that they'd already been playing, and you had to buy the PDF. But the PDF was being sold so she could pay other people who needed to recoup the losses in a vastly overestimated amount of money that is impossible to really get. She needed like $25,000 to pay back everybody, but the refunds, but the refunds can't happen. It's what I'm saying is Kamigakari's history is a problem, and I'm going to say this right now: do not buy the game. Don't buy it. I'm going to be very brutally honest with you. Do not buy the game. Do not support Amy Veers and Serpent games, because you do not know where that money is going. I'll be honest with you. Their company is in shambles. There isn't really a company anymore, and it's not really a well put together project being headed by someone with good financial sense at all. And maybe something had changed in the past few years that I couldn't find. But overall, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to play Kamigakari, find the fan translation, which also has all of the expansions, and all of the side material, and homebrew material, and a bunch of other things, for free. Now, I don't know about you guys. I like free things. Free things make things go good. And now we're going to look at it, because I want people to play it. Because I love Kamigakari. The game is actually phenomenally good. It's also incredibly fucking huge. This book is 421 pages long. And now it looks like this. The game's huge. And that's... oof. It's a big boy. And you're going to enjoy it. And it's also this. Oh boy, hopefully you like all of these and formatting, and it's not going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of terms. I'm going to do my best to explain everything. So, I'm going to give you a rundown on what the setting is. So, the setting of Kamigakari can roughly be summarized as there are shards. Shards are like shards of God power. And you are, as a crescent person, as an anime person, have got the power of a shard to allow you to become a god hunter. Your job is to kill things that are gods and or trying to become super gods. Take your katana out and do a quadruple backflip through the air and slice someone in half, because fuck you, you're an anime protagonist. There are a lot of rules for this one, but at the end of the day, it's... make a wild guess what the system is, kids. If you guessed a 2d6 system, you were correct. it's again, it's a 2d6 system, and there's a lot of lore, and there's a lot of lore that goes into it, and there's a lot of lore that makes you understand it. There's all the different societies and all the different lore bits. Every single lore bit has its own things. And you also have the sample city, which is lore about things we don't understand. And here's lore. Okay. We've hit characters. This is one of those games where it encourages you to, like, just take a sample character, please. Just please, for fuck's sake, take a sample character. Don't do this to yourself. Let me see if I can find... yeah, here's some of the... Just to give you an idea of the sheer amount of expansions that come out for this game. Yeah, you like the expansion books? There's a lot of expansions. Let me see if I can find... Where are you? Sample characters. There we go. So this is we'll use this as a sample character. Yeah, welcome to this fuckboy. And I'm going to try to explain everything I can to you, because there's a lot to this. But at the end of the day, it encourages you to, like, take this character, put in a name, put in a cover, and, like, this is just what you do. This is how things operate, and this is how you're going to play the game. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with this. And let me just quickly go through all the sample characters. So, at its core, your world influence is pretty much how important you are, as well as kind of your level. Everyone starts at level 1. Your race gives you certain aspects, certain talents, certain abilities, lets you do things. You calculate all your substats from those. You determine your styles, and then you calculate your combat stats from those styles, which you can technically select 2, which act as an A and B side. And then you acquire all your talents. Then you purchase your items. Then you determine your cover. Then you determine your personality and other problems. And then you're done with creation. That seems like a lot, and the answer is, it is a lot. There's a lot that goes into Kamigakari. And you can kind of see even, like, over here, like, your race is a magus, you're an arcane person. He has technically 2 main styles, which are Elder Mage and Dark Hunter. You know, he has all of these, which are all his abilities that lets him do things. It's like, oh wow, there's so many different options. I'm going to give you all a secret. There aren't actually that many options. All of these options build on top of each other. And since all of the options build on top of each other, this looks like a lot of stuff. You're like, wow, there's so much shit here, and you're terrified of it. But, most people are going to be here. There isn't actually that much here. Or your stats are going to look like this. Oh, wow, look at my combat stats. Look at my substats. These aren't a lot. Oh, wow, there's so much. Magical jewels. Here's magic damage. That's what it is. What I'm trying to say is, there's a lot here, but not a lot. They have to give you a bajillion options, so each of those options means something. And this is... Oh no, like, wow, it's like, oh god, look at all these stats I need to find. Oh no. Your will is going to be something like 3. It's going to be 3 to 4. Your resist modifier is going to be 2. Can you do 4 plus 2? You can find your resist out. You know, it's like, oh, what's your substat plus your modifier? That's what it is. What's your initiative substat plus your initiative modifier? That's your initiative. It's some pretty simple things. The problem is it's laid out like this, and it's intimidating. Kamigakari looks terrifying. And that's as I kind of said earlier, you really want to look at it and be like, oh god, there's so much shit here. I'm scared of it. I don't understand it. Don't worry. There actually isn't that much. There's just a lot of stuff. And these are what the talents look like. These are like the main effects of the talents. And if we go here, I'm not going to go over like everything. That's not the point of this. This is for you to say, this is a cool thing, please look at it. And you choose, so it's like, oh no, I have to choose all my stats. I want to play a Scion. His inheritors descend from demigod heroes who toppled gods, spoken in myth and legends, the reincarnation of demon lords, guardian angels, and clans that are cursed to inherit unique special powers. Let me just fucking choke to death, alright? God damn. You have 3 options. That's it. Here's your 3 stats. Here's your 3 stat blocks. I like it? Cool. I like it. I want to be Marshall. Violent strike. And then you get to choose a certain amount of that. I think it's 3 at start. And that's it. And most of these look like things such as we'll just use violent strike. Physical attack. The user selects either form, sword, or range, then makes a physical attack and also gains plus to any of the user's main stats modifier at damage calculation. What this is saying is the user selects a weapon that is sword or ranged and then makes a attack and also gains plus whatever the user's main stats modifier at damage calculation. Strength. Marshall, I'm going to add my 5. Done. My 5 strength, yeah, that's all it is. But it looks really intimidating because, like, what's this cost O means? What's this mean? What's this mean? This is what's happening. This is the number of targets you can hit with it. This is what it costs. Some of them have no cost. Other of them have cost of like your overflow, which your overflow is gained by virtue of just doing things and using your bigger abilities. You're building up power. And then you are unleashing that power. Which is really simple. And they go over everything. Here's your overflow. Here's this. Here's this. And there's a lot of these. This is what I mean by like, oh wow, there's a lot of these and I'm really scared of it. I don't understand it. You don't need to worry about it. You don't. Congratulations. Like, this is what all the races are. Like, the races are not huge. That's not the point. You take some that feels thematic, that feel appropriate, and when you're done, you're done. You've done it. Good job. You've successfully become a gamer. And then it's like, okay, here's the styles. Now, the styles are something I actually really enjoy, and I've actually used this for that game. That game I don't talk about anymore because I'm scared of it. The Table Talk Online. The idea behind Table Talk Online is that you pick 2 classes. Same thing here. And it's like, okay, I want to be an Arc Slayer. What's an Arc Slayer? Big fucking guy with a big fucking sword. That's it. You don't get any of these ones. You don't get any of these cool ones yet. You're not strong enough. Wait on it. You get some of these. Here's 6 options. Now here's 8 options if you choose style A. Here's 8 options if you choose style B. That's it. That's all you need. But you have to put all these in case people want to level up, in case people have to do things. And there are quite a few of these styles. This is where kind of like the main meat of the game comes in. And this is all this is modifiers. So your main style, these are all the little modifiers you get. So if I want to be a Dark Hunter, I can be a Dark Hunter with a Dark Hunter Elemental Adept. I take my Dark Hunter stats, and I just get some of the abilities here. That's it. Not difficult. It's not hard. People get intimidated by it because it's a 420-page fucking book. But you shouldn't. Download it. Read it. It's not that difficult. It just seems really hard. Because it's like, oh god, there's so much stuff here, and they have to overload you with all this information right away. But at the end, they're not very difficult. It's not the point of being difficult. And then you get items. Items are, again, oh wow, there's a lot of items, and I'm scared of them, I don't understand them. Don't worry about it. You want to know why? It's because this is all it fucking is. all it is. It's really easy to understand. So let's find, like, see if I can find it. Now, the arm system is what your artificial regalia is. This is like one of the big things of Kamigakari is, hey, I'm going to use my magic fucking sword to be magical and cool, and do magic sword things with it, so I can, like, chop God in half. That's cool. We like it when this occurs. However, how do we do it? You add effects to it. Like that. That's it. Yeah, that's all you do. You purchase the item, you review the system, which is saying add shit, you select your additional effects, spend the value, apply the additional effects. That's it. But this system does allow you, yes you, to make your own things. You're allowed to make your own items. Or it's like, okay, I'm going to use a one-handed sword. You know, you're restricted. There's no restrictions. One-handed sword, one hand, no bonus accuracy, plus 3 to your physical, that, negative 2 to your initiative, costs 500 gold. That's it. And you're like, man, I don't know. I need some more stuff on this. Fuck it, go for it. It's the blade of slaying evil, purified blade that cleaves evil. Sacrament forging, it's a diamond sword. You know, minding the mind's night. Exorcism cross for our heart. That's all. We did it. You scared now? Are you scared of this system? Because you really shouldn't. Because all of this is really fucking simple. There's just a lot of it. And I think someone looks at, like, we'll go for, like, we'll use automatic return. So people see this, and it's like, I don't know. I'm getting kind of worried about this. I'm getting scared of this. But what you should be looking at is, you only apply it to a one-handed spear weapon. Once you throw it, it automatically returns to your hand. After making a range attack with the weapon, the user may immediately equip the weapon. Do you want to know what this does? If I throw my spear, it comes back to my hand. That is all that occurs. That's it. And it has to have all these different things because they're game terms. Equip is a game term. Range attack is a game term. Weapon is all these are game terms that can affect different things. You might have an ability that says when you equip a weapon, this occurs. Well, you immediately equip the weapon, so it would occur. It does these things to help you. And it has to do all these things to help you, and it kind of makes it intimidating by just glancing it over. I think that's like one of the big things that people get like really worried about. They're like, I have no idea what any of this means. But you don't need to worry about it. Don't freak out. Don't be, scared of these things. Because it's not that complicated. These are here to help you. Even down things like fucking calorie blocks. Although uncommonly high calories, perfect for nourishing, it doesn't taste very good. You just get 5 health. Like, that's it. Get more things. This is fine. It's okay. We can make it together. We're gonna make it together. We've already made it this far. This game isn't complicated. What it gets complicated is when we get down here. And after we go through all the personality stuff, like, we have to make all these characters, and we have to make everything here, because this is what makes the game the game. Without it, you don't really get anything. Are you ready for what the checks are? It's a 2d6 system. Yeah, that's it. It's a 2d6 system. So, actually known as roll, the number of dice rolled 2d6, but effects, talents, and latent talent traits may adjust that amount. That's it. The higher will never go below 1d6 and never go higher than 5d6. You're going to be taking your 2d6 dice, you're going to be rolling it. I rolled a 3 and a 6. I rolled a 9 on that. I add whatever my attribute is, and done. Boom, done. I'm done. That's it. It's pretty simple. And everything about this game is built around that concept. But people look at this and they're like, what does this mean? I don't know what this means. I'm kind of scared out of it. You do this immediately. If I say you have a modifier, a +3, 2d6 plus 3. You calculated the result. Good job. You roll 2 6s. Guess what? You crit. If you roll all 1s, guess what? You fucking failed. You fumbled because you're an idiot. There we go. That's it. But it looks like this. And when you have something that looks like this, people are like, and eyes begin to glaze over slightly. And now you're kind of seeing the value of things like replays. Replays are huge. Because replays allow you to view all of this shit with characters, with things going on. And it even reminds me of a really weird program I saw, and I was like, I'm in, I gotta see it. Let me see if I can find it again. I'll do Japanese. No, I wanted to do TG archive. This is like the really weird thing I found, and I was like, I'm in. So, actually, no, this is the wrong one. Yeah, this is still pretty cool. This one? No, it has to be the last one then. Yeah, this is trpgstudio.com. Now, if you look at how these are set up, it's literally, you can set up a game, a fucking method to play a game from things like your fucking phone. You can play it on the computer, and you can do all the things you normally do, and even add in cute little characters, and you're all typing it in. Look how adorable it is. It's Roll20 for weebs. But if you go on this idea, you can also play back everything. And once you play back everything, guess what you can do? You can upload it. Background images uploaded on your own. Materials that can be used free time. You add synthesized audio and output replay videos. If you get the entire idea, yeah, you can make it. You can make your own set fucking visual novel effectively. But it's like it would be more of a, what's the term for it? It's not a visual novel. It's a linear novel. No, that's not it. I can't remember the term, but it was like a visual novel, but there isn't really any choices. Linear. Yeah, it was linear novel. Even though that doesn't sound right either. But it's more like that. It's like, oh, hey, I can upload a video, and it shows like all the characters popping forward, being like, ooh, woo, here's this. And you can see the dice be rolled. Like, oh no, looks like I rolled high on this, or oh no, looks like I rolled thunder. Oh no, I rolled this, or that. You're seeing it, and they want to get you to fucking play these games. That's what they want you to do, and this is awesome. It helps people learn the game. And the big thing that it does, it's not like a fucking actual play podcast where it's 5 guys sitting around, all we see is their ugly fucking mugs playing the fucking game. God bless VTubers and yeah, and their massive desire to get into any market they can. You know, they've been doing that. I know there's a Necronica game going on. There's a few, but like, I'm immensely fascinated by some of these games. And if you get the idea that you were a person and you're like, I don't know how to play Kamigakari, actual play VTubers, there is the, also, hi Tara. I do know there is one Necronica game going on. There's a Hollow Myth game going on. I swear to God there's another Call of Cthulhu game. I think it's one that some of the Japanese girls are doing that. And I do know there is at least like 2, 3 VTubers who that's their gimmick, is being the tabletop ones. Like there's Tabletop Witch. Is that, where are you? What is her name? I found her on accident one day. I was looking around. What's the tabletop VTuber? Tabletop RPG VTuber. Let's do it. It's gonna pop up with Hollow Myth. VTuber maids dive. Don't know what I was expecting. Let's see. Oh no. Oh yeah, RyuTubers. Oh lord. I want RyuTubers really bad, by the way. Oh yeah, here she is. Yeah, that's her gimmick. Yeah, that's her gimmick. This is what we deal with. God bless TRPGs. But I am bamboozled why there isn't more of these. Bamboozled. So, it also has these occasionally, and I like these ones. Now, this is probably the best explanation of how to do the spirit pool, which I think is the absolute smartest fucking mechanic I have ever seen ever, and good God, why do not more games do this? The entire idea of the spirit pool is pretty simple. It's like, alright, show 6, critical, show 1, fail. The spirit pool allows you to influence things. Because you roll your dice and you're like, oh man, I rolled a 2 and a 2. Man, 2 and a 3. Man, I didn't succeed at this. What you can do is you pre-roll your spirit pool, and then you can swap it out with one of your spirit pool dice. You still have to deal with that other number in there, though. This also means, wow, I mean, I did pretty good. I got a 5 and a 5, not 10. I only needed 4, though. I only needed this little number. So I'm going to swap out one of my 5s for that 2 and have a 5 for later. I adore this mechanic. I think it's a beautiful thing of using the systems at your core to make that 2d6 roll, make that really simple little roll a lot more engaging. Because immediately, you're like, okay, I succeeded at this. Can I swap any of my dice out? I have this 6 here. Do I want to switch out this 6 for a 4? I'll still succeed and have that 6 for later. Or do I want to just keep it here and just succeed? Because I want to keep that for later. I'm like, well, I can afford to put that away for later. Like, can I justify, can I justify taking away something? Can I take away that 6 from the pool to succeed at this check? If I swap it out for a 5, maybe I need that 6 for later, though. Maybe I need it later, maybe I need it now. What do I do? It immediately gives you options, and it lets you, the player, make choices based off your dice roll that isn't directly derived from your dice rolling. I adore this because it's immediate, and you immediately kind of understand the stakes. It appeals to monkey brain who want to see higher number go good. Also appeals to the lizard brain who's like, well, I need a 6 to succeed. I have a 9. Can I swap out some of my spirit? Can I swap out one of my spirit dice to get a better result later? I think that is mwah, beautiful. To the point where I'm going to be using this mechanic for another game because I think it's that fucking good. And that's pretty solid. Like, I adore those. Criticals and fumbles are exactly what it is. Yeah, this is one catch with critical die. Instead, the player may change any one spirit die to any value they want, which is probably going to be a 6. I know what you're talking about, Pummel. I know what you're talking about. And I have read that. I need to reread Weapons of the Gods. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I should put that on the list. Because I remember Weapons of the Gods had a lot of cool ideas. And I wish people would explore it a little bit more, but it kind of got lost. It's one of those games that kind of just went the way of the dodo, and like no one really talks about it anymore. So all of these are pretty simple. Criticals and fumbles, you know, supplemental rule checks. You need checks here. These are all side rules. It's okay. Hello. Hello, Car. How are you? Do you wish to talk to me about that? Maneuvers are exactly what you think it is. Things that you can do. These are like actions. They're not too complicated. Let me get down to latent traits. Pretty simple. Now combat is where things get really odd. Because you get things such as placement of combat start. Because this is one of the few Japanese games that relies on a grid. You need a grid to play Kamigakari. And that's why I think it's one of the games, like one of the reasons why it took off so well here. Right during the, it was, I think it was about 2013, 2014, 15 is when like the fan translation really kind of kicked off. And it was reason because you can already, like, the leap in logic compared to something like Shinobigami, that we looked at earlier, isn't that big. I have here's a grid, here's minis, here's things we're doing. Over here, we have minis, we have, you know, a grid, we have things we can do. It makes a lot of sense kind of moving it over there. It still has a lot of weird Japanese parts to it, but, like, the actual gameplay of it, not that complicated. A lot of timings, though. Determine actors, timing prep, timing attack, timing actions. There's a lot of different fucking actions. You know, what the timing is the start. Timing is when the combat seeks an opportunity to strike. There's, combat is where things are a little bit complicated in this game. To break it down, it's a lot about timings. It's a lot about saying, okay, we are at this time, we can do this thing, and I'm going to target these people. You know, attacks with no target, like target freely attacking people, you're blowing things up. It's very gamey. And that's okay. I'm okay with things being gamey. Because it's pleasant sometimes. On the good old-fashioned GNS scale, it's okay to be gamey sometimes. I'm not gonna be, you know, sometimes people get like a little annoyed where it's like, well, this is gamey, or it doesn't fall to the narrative, or it doesn't do, you know, it's not simulated. It's okay. It's games. And you're going to have to embrace the game part of it to make Kamigakari work. All the damage, and yeah, there's a lot here. And if I'm not like beating this into your fucking skull enough, this is here to help you. All like this big block of text right here is to say, calculate how much damage you're doing, add your combat stats in your items, add a modifier, and then variation damage rate, damage from damage rates calculated following manner, select a dice, reference rank. Yeah, that's really it. There's a lot of little parts. Kamigakari can best be described as many little parts all building on top of one another. And every single little part of it builds on to make the game look a lot more intimidating than it actually is. But highest die value you rolled using your attack action, the damage rate chart, and look for the point where the die value took to intersect with your rank, and then add that number to that. +2 damage rank. This is very complicated, but from what I've gathered from people actually playing the game, and people who actually play it quite a bit, this is really simple. Or you just ignore it and just say, yeah, this is how it works. Because Kamigakari, being so light, actually is very open to hacking, and you can hack the shit out of this game if you feel like it. And that's why you get so many fan games, the fan supplements and fan things with this game, because people want to do certain things. We've already kind of gone over how session progress works. It's things like appearing, it's being in a scene, being not in a scene, being in the end of a session, being in the end of an episode, more guideline, distortions. Things are weird. Things get funky. But I'm hoping I kind of gave you guys the idea of things that occur, and even how building Mononoke, building monsters, is like a fucking pastime of the Kamigakari threads. They want you to build more monsters, build more things. Why? Because fuck it. We want you to. We want you to enjoy this. We want you to build these bigger and bigger things going on. Like, they want you to build things like the Doll Mound. Leyline go out of control, and the power manipulates the hearts of NPCs, affecting NPCs, and the amount of them are controlled according to the creator's will, and will take inexplicable actions while unconscious. This is here to help you, the GM. It's not scary. It looks like big. It looks big. It looks intimidating. It's not. All the appendix, all the material charts, because you need material, a lot of material. Like fucking Monster Hunter in that regard. All the different Mononoke, all the different... Every single thing in this book is to make sure that you understand how to play. It's for nothing else. And it's intimidating. This game is not easy to get into. This game is not something you can just hop in and say, I'm going to play. You kind of got to read it. But once you understand how it works, once you get to the, okay, everything's based around 2d6 checks, and once I get to the 2d6 checks, I can understand how damage is calculated. Like, okay, I'm going to use this, I'm going to interact with my skill, and then go, I do that much damage. Or, hey, well, Mononoke, there's a bunch of Mononoke right here, why don't I just use that? I can just fluff it as I need to. Hey, my guys are scared and they don't know how to make a character. Give them a sample character. Give them a name. Give them something else. They're done. Everything in this book, everything in these 400 pages, are not designed to intimidate you. They are designed to make sure that you play Kamigakari for free. Because remember, this game is free. Fan translation is free and that you can buy. You can buy the game if you want. I do not recommend it, though. If anything, I don't know, buy Shinobigami. Or, I don't know, invest in your very own, Coon box or something, I don't know. But, game not scary, game fun, gameplay, please. Our final game is the most deviant of them, and also fairly old. Welcome to a blank document, because there's literally no pictures in these books. Welcome to Tokyo Nova. Tokyo Nova is unique for two reasons. One, it's published by Far East Amusement Research, Fear, which is usually the head of the Fear system, which is kind of like a very generic system in Japan that's used for a lot of things. Not this one, though, because this one is very unique. And it's unique for one distinct reason. 1, 2, 3, 4. No dice, only cards. Your entire method of succeeding and failing at checks is determined by a card. I have a standard 52 card deck with jokers. You also need a tarot deck, but you don't. You people have come up with methods to kind of mitigate that. Gameplay is simple. If there's a check that comes up, You just need the accurate suit. So a basic check is saying, hey, we need to do passion. You measure the character's strength, emotion, and willpower. And I look at my hand, I'm like, all right, I have a club right here. 2 clubs, done. I have it. I need to play a valid card. But you may be wondering, Notepad, I only have 4 cards in my entire hand. How am I going to do this if it calls for something else? Well, you draw a card from the top of the deck. Now this, drawing a card from the top of the deck, is called I believe it's called like an open check or like a free check or something. Where is it? Where is it? Valid card, blind draw. Once you make a blind draw, that's how you actually critical and fumble. If you get a face card, you fumble. You fuck up. And that's bad. However, if you draw an ace, the check is a critical. Something really good just happens. And that's cool. We like that. However, if I play a card just from my hand, be like, all right, I need to play, I'll play an 8. It's very simple. Now, for example, I need to make a skill check. Now, a skill check is you use your skill plus whatever it is. Plus whatever your skill technically is at that time. So, let's draw myself 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need to make I keep drawing shit. Jesus Christ, my fucking gambling habits are not doing good. Let's say, for example, I need to make an attribute check here real fast. I need to make a mundane check. I'm trying to influence somebody. Things are being a little bit complicated. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit scared here. I have a diamonds of 4. So I'm like, okay. Looking at my hand, I have a valid card. I'm looking, okay. Play that card. 8 of diamonds plus my 4. I get a 12. That's a skill check. Congratulations. I've officially now taught you the basic mechanics of Tokyo Nova. Pretty simple. Pretty easy. Things get a little bit more complicated. We wouldn't have a 103-page document if it wasn't. Which, again, is a fan-translated game which you can find for free. Which you should totally play, though, because this game is cool. And cool game cool does cool things. I would recommend the thing is it's a little bit harder to play this than with other games because it's not dice. Discord doesn't like non-dice games. There are some bots who are like, here, draw cards, but you want to kind of keep your cards close to your chest. Because one of the gimmicks with Tokyo Nova is pretty simple. You aren't really working together. You can work together, but you're also kind of playing in this very dramatic cyber action world. You're more Akira than anything. So it's like, well, I kind of want to fuck with you because I don't like you. And I want to make it out if you're alive with a bunch of money. And you're getting in my way of doing that. So it's like, fuck you. Or go to hell. Like, I don't like you. Throw down a card. Fuck it. What are you going to do? I am the cool guy. I have the power. That's what it means. That's what it means. And it does play its feelings a lot better. And I like that about it. You feel as though you have your fate in your hand, and you want to fail a check sometimes. You're looking at it being like, man, you want a what check? Okay, you want a spades check. I'm like, okay, I got a 7 of spades and I got a 3 of spades. But I can also, fuck it. I'm going to get rid of this 2 of clubs. It's a fail. Yeah, I fail. I get to draw a new card. I'm like, oh, I have an advantage here. And the thing is, you always want to cycle out, but you also want to keep some cards. Because you might need to make a self-control check, as right here. Self-control requires you to roll under your value. Because every stat has a basic value, as well as a control value, which is usually a little bit higher. Now, the big thing is combos. Combos are actually a really cool mechanic, and I really enjoy them. You combine skills together to do a thing. Hey, I need to climb a building stealthily. I need to make an athletics with a stealth skill check. That's it. Pretty easy. Well, both of them have to be using the same card, and that's how you really build up your skills in Tokyo Nova, which is the unique part about it. You don't build up your skills by having higher number skills or better skills. What you do is you increase your options. Your athletics may be tied exactly to your hearts. However, you may do it with spades later. It's your reason. Being like, you're an accomplished athlete. Yeah, you're pretty good at hearts, but you can also reason out how to do things better. Or you may, imply a variety of different skills, different techniques to do things. And anytime you do, you whip it out and you can play it. It counts as a valid card, which makes combos a lot more interesting, where you can combo just about anything with anything else. If you want to combo melee with, for example, let me think at the top of my head, melee and like a knowledge skill of some sort. Oh, melee and medicine. There we go. That's a good one. You're going to need reason for that. Now, if your melee doesn't have the ability to use reason, you can't really do that. However, if your melee does use reason and your medicine uses reason, well, slap down that fucking spade and slash someone precisely using the power of your melee katana skill because you're cool. Yeah, and there are a lot of skills, but a lot of these skills are very common and very simple. Things like medicine, ranged attack, perception, stealth, stature. Like, there's not many like basic skills. But that's not the point. The big thing is your style skill. Style is, well, your style, how cool, is your ability to do things. You also have a life path origin, which this is actually a pretty early rendition of a life path system, because if we go here, and let's say Tokyo Nova, when did Tokyo Nova come out? So Tokyo Nova officially came out in '93 is when it first came out. And if I remember correctly, there haven't been a new one yet. And the latest version is 2003, which is Tokyo Nova The Detonation, which this one is not this. This one is entirely based around the combination of various different factors to build like a simple version. Which, if you are hunting around for the book, this is the copy you're going to find. This version of the game is what you're going to find if you want a full English translation of it, which is fine. Occupation, for example, the Japanese puppet style represent not only a job for the Megacorp's employee, but also characters unshakable loyal to the company. Because, again, you're supposed to be a little bit odd. Each character doesn't have to really work with each other. And this game doesn't have any of the artwork, but the artwork is actually pretty fascinating because it looks kind of interesting. Very anime-esque, if you can't tell. I wonder if I can find some of the other Tokyo Nova art. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's acceleration. This was I believe, the original cover of the game, which does wear its influences on its shoulder, but I like it. It has a very unique charm to it. It's not strictly like hyper anime, but also very much has its own unique personality to it. Nobody also talks about it because it's old and everyone wants to talk about their new things. Fucking weebs, holy shit. But you get some weird looking ones. Yeah, other side. Yeah, people look weird. People act weird. It's great, and I adore Tokyo Nova reading through it. I can't really go through the entire game because it's a bigger one, but you have a life path system. You have your styles, and mind you, there are a lot of different kinds of styles. You technically can pick 3 of them. However, you can double up on them or just have the exact same for all 3. So you can say things like, "Oh, I'm a kabuki two into tatara," or I can say, "Oh, I'm a two mistress and a kabuto," or I'm a kabuto charisma mannequin. Those are fine. You can do a lot of different things. Hell, if you want to be a kabuto, kabuto kage, that's pretty interesting. You have a personality. You have some character there, and this is how you determine your stats too. Choose your styles, and then you add everything up together. That's it. The miracles are effectively your super cool abilities that let you do super cool things for super cool reasons. So, for example, if my style is I have Kabuki style, I can cancel the effect of a miracle check or skill anytime I want to, but I can't use that miracle again. But if I'm Kabuki 3, I can use that miracle 3 times. Same goes for a lot of different ones. Hey, I'm a undercover police officer. I can disguise myself. Oh, I'm a Kage. Bandit can take an action. Target cannot react. Heal all physical and mental wounds, including death. Heal all social wounds. Avoid blame. These are important. Neuro, hack the planet. I don't think that's really it, but it's accurate. And I like this game a lot. It's thematic, and there's a lot of things when it comes to like outfits, which outfits are more like items that you get at the end of the act again. Because this is built like a television show in some cases. It's like an act. It's like a movie. You're opposing one another possibly, but you're also going through each other in a very dramatic way. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, what's going on? Oh my god!" Everyone's screaming. Everyone's panicking. But at the end of the day, you're still looking around, and everyone is playing by the same rules. Even the GM. Because that's one other unique thing about this game. The game does accommodate the fact that the GM may want to play. And if they want to, they get bonus XP to the player. Yeah, not your character. No. The player gets XP. So if they want to play a different character, they can spread around their XP the way they want to. Oh, well, here's this new character I have. I spent all my XP from the previous session on them. Well, now he's a little bit cooler, but he's a cyber assassin. That's the entire point. Everyone's like, "Oh, no, cyber assassin. I'm getting kind of spooked now." But the GM is finally like, "Hey, guys, I have the anti-cyber assassin, because screw you, I'm a GM, I can do that." And everyone's like, "Yeah, cool. You can play again." And I like that about it. It encourages this kind of the relationship of the player versus the GM isn't really a thing. It's like we're all telling a story together, which ultimately I feel is the epitome of game design. The epitome of tabletop at the end of the day is we all have to work together. We're all having fun. As long as everyone's having fun, we're good. So let's see. He goes over to sample characters. Experience points. Now, experience points are hilarious. Do something for the director. Write a replay. Do an illustration. Host session. Participate. Role play well. Explain. Keep the game moving. Use a miracle fittingly. Explain something to another player. Yeah, Japanese XP systems are adorable, and I love them. Now, things get a little bit more complicated when we get down to, let me see if I can find how combat works. Combat's really weird, but I also kind of love it. And I should actually address this. Scenes aren't exactly what you think they are. They're scenes. And maybe only like 1 or 2 people are actually in a scene, and you have to make like, "Oh no, I want to try to come in and see if I can't help." Or like, "Oh no, I'm going to come in because I want to intervene." Like, if I'm a cop and on the case of a Yakuza boss, and one of the other players is at the Yakuza boss's house, being like, "Bro, we're getting the hell out of Dodge here." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe." I mean, like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna barge in." I got a barge and I got 3 cops on my back. Like, well, yeah, we're barging and we're blasting. We're getting ready. We're going to take down these Yakuza guys. Then the scene changes. It's like, oh, God. We're ready. Let's do this. And that's where the trump card, this is where you need the tarot cards to come in. The tarot cards effectively allow everyone to play a trump card, which changes the scene in their favor. Well, not really their favor, but changes the scene fundamentally. Where, say for example, we opened up a scene with let's see. We need to let's say the Highlander. Hope the situation in your face. A hopeless plan succeeds. Okay, things are going well. Things are going pretty well. You know, we've negotiated with the Yakuza boss. We've clapped hands. We are ready. We are free of these problems. We are no longer in debt. We are no longer going to be threatened by the Yakuza. We can finally live together. And everyone smiles and everything is great. And then the man playing the cop gives you the evilest grin in the world. Everyone's like, no, please, God, don't do it, Mr. Cop. Cop, please. And he's just like, guess what? It's time to do duel. And then he plays a trump card. Then it shifts in Judgment's favor. Incidents are resolved. Things are lost or regained. Resurrection. He's kicked down the fucking door. He's ready to... The scene changes. He's resolving something. He's going to arrest the Yakuza. The Yakuza guy is like, oh shit. Everyone's like, oh shit. Everyone starts sprinting in different directions. Things are immediately going wrong. For you, anyway. It's a resurrection for him. He's doing great. This entire system of scene with them really gives the impression that this is a movie. Hell, they even call it director scenes, being backstage when you're not in a scene, or it's, you know, all the different phases. It's very, you are going in there and you're going to enjoy it because things are going to get real wacky real fucking fast. Let me see if I can find... combat. So, combat works a little bit strange. Uses the same idea of the basic mechanics, which is like, beat their thing to do things to them. Pretty simple. Well, things get a little bit more complicated, because your damage also determines by the cards in your hand. So let's say I hit someone. You know, let's say I draw my 4 cards, and I'm like, okay, 4 diamonds, that hits. Now, I have 3 more cards in my hand. I gotta choose damage. I'm like, guess what? 6. 6 plus whatever my damage is. I'm doing that. But you're limiting your options. Do you want to play a high card to succeed at the check, or do you want to play a lower card to barely succeed? Just to barely succeed, but you get to play that bigger card. Or maybe you don't want to do any damage. Maybe you do this big turn and you're like, ha ha ha, I'm going to hit you, and you do 3 damage. Everyone's just like, whew, man, that makes things a lot easier. But then everyone questions, why did you just use the 3 on that? What else do you have in your hand? And that's where the game really excels. It's that drama of, you know exactly, can you succeed or can you not succeed? And having those cards in your hand makes everybody sweat a little bit. Did you play that 3 because you have nothing else? Did you play that 3 because you have everything else you need? And you're just cycling. You don't care. You got 2 jokers in your hand. You got a 9 and a 10 in there. Or do you feel that confident that you don't need a low number because you're not going to take any damage? You're too cool for that. You're gonna fuck us. You're like, do we go? Do we go in on him? Do we not go in on him? It's like, everyone starts panicking. And that's where the game comes in. Because you have the 2 layers of the game going on. You have the base layer of the game, the actual game world occurring, where it's like someone has whipped out a gun, shooting, and everyone's blasting each other. Everything's going insane. And then you have the game above, where you have 4 people looking at their cards, all looking at each other, and someone... the attack puts out the 3, slides the 3 forward. They hit. It's like, what are you going to pull out next? And then they pull out a 7, and like, oh no. What are their other 2 cards? Or maybe they're just like, you know what? I'm going to do a blind check. I'm going to do a blind check and I roll it and get a 6. Why do you do a blind check? Does he not have a card in his hand? Maybe he has cards he doesn't want to give up. Maybe he has something so far up his sleeve that we don't know. We are now. Everyone gets on edge. when everyone's on edge, everyone starts thinking. That's where the beauty of this game comes in. And it's cool. It's really cool. It's very pretty, and things go very smoothly when it works. And I want people to play it. But I also understand it's a bitch to play. You would almost need to go into like a tabletop sim with a deck of cards to really play this game. And even then, I think the game excels more in physical. When you're sitting around the table and your friends are all looking at their hands, you can start getting a read on them. You're looking at it. Look at your friend over there. He's got a smug look on his face. He looks down at his card. He's just like, hell yeah, I'm doing good. Is he bullshitting you or not? Look over, someone else is like looking at him and keeps like going through him and keeps shuffling them a little bit in his hand. He's like, I don't know. Is he fucked or is he fucking with us? Then you look at the GM who's looking at their cards is with, resigned apathy. Like, are we going to have a good time or are we going to get our shit rocked? And that's where the beauty of the cards come in. It's simple. It's easy. You immediately know what's going to go on. Does this game also have possibly card counting issues? Maybe. But since most things aren't public knowledge, it's kind of harder to do that. However, if you draw 3 8s, you can pretty make sure that probably nobody else has an 8. Or very few people have 8s. Or it's like, well, we haven't seen a face card in a while. Either people are hanging on to them, or I'm going to open this card up and it's going to be a face. I just drew and got an ace because I'm cool like that, and I am awesome and deserve all my V-Bucks. Are V-Bucks even a meme anymore, by the way? I don't know. Is Fortnite still funny? Can we make Fortnite jokes anymore, or am I out of the loop again? But I like Tokyo Nova. I think everyone should play it, and I think people should look at it deeper. If only there was more. And what do I mean by that? I wish there was more here than this. There are, mind you, if I open up my Tokyo Nova folder, there are other things. There's like the world guide. I said there's the world guide, which is like all about like the world going on and all that stuff. But it's like, oh man, I wish there was more. I wish there was more stuff going on. Like, I wish there was a little bit clearer reference. Oh, wait a second. There's an entire, style list here because people understand that you're going to want to look at things. What? There's an entire system? Man, that's kind of nuts, but a little bit complicated looking at all the, oh wow, look at here. Look, it's every single outfit in the game organized for you. Just download the fucking game. Just get it. Just get the fucking game already. There's no reason you shouldn't. Because it's that good. And the guys who did translate this cared. And this game may seem complicated, but it's really not. It's just using that interesting, unique mechanic that changes things enough that I think people get a little bit worried about it. People look at it and you're like, I don't know. I don't know about this. And it's like, oh God, it's like, am I like actually happy with this? Or it's like, is it a gimmick? It's not a gimmick. Like, that's, I think, the key thing to remember in this game. Out of all these hit charts, out of all these things, that the cards are not a gimmick. The cards tell the story. The cards are what your character can do in their scene. It's in the movie when you see Jack McClane kick down the door, he's blasting people. It's because he had the right cards in his hand. Because he knew he could do that. Another time, maybe he doesn't. Why? Because he's smart. He looks at his hands and says, I'm fucked. But the key thing is, All of these are simply a method for you to tell your story. And you don't even need to do combat in this game. I think that's one of the cool things about it. You don't actually need to do combat because there's an entire social combat system, which plays by the same rules, roughly speaking. All of these mean something to you. And I think that's... the thing that really makes this game work for me. And I think that's why I like it so much. It's so pleasant and so nice when things work. And it uses all its themes, all its mechanics to tell a very specific story about what it wants to tell. It doesn't fuck around. It doesn't try to convince you it's something else. It is a cyber action game. If you want to play a kabuki cop going on a magical adventure to, kick cyborg Satan's ass, go for it. If you want to play a cop drama where you don't draw a fucking gun the entire time, there's no combat. It's just you and the perp going at each other. Looking at your card, looking at each other, it's just debating. Going to the scene and trying to find evidence on one another. Do you cover up evidence, or do you leave it out in the open for the cop to find? Because you want him to find it. Or are you doing it because you're an idiot and didn't roll and didn't get an ace? Or you did a blind check and drew a face card? That is what Tokyo Nova is. Tokyo Nova is an action game. But action means a lot of things. And I think this game is really underappreciated for that factor. And people don't know about it, really, because it's an older game. And it uses such a unique mechanic. And when you download the game, this is the first thing you get. You get a blank wireframe. Because they didn't want to put any of the art in. And I understand that. I get it. And that's fine. Because there's so much other stuff here. Like, let's take, let's do some new... Here are some of the homebrew stuff for this game. Because, again, homebrewing is actually pretty simple. Here's the Arashi. Sovereign storm steel and trample the battlefield. Pilot war machines, such as walkers, tanks, and fighters, or bomber planes. Here's how you do this. Here's all of your skills. That's it. This is how you make a character. You invented an entirely new style for this game. And it's all here. Now, let's... I don't know. Let's open up a new one. Let's do the Haruko. Mutants with mutations spontaneously rose. It sounds less dumb, It sounds less dumb in Japanese because this one is in katakana. Mutants, but spontaneously created or artificially engineered. Flesh undergoes a variety of mutations. I love playing mutants. Always have. But there are a lot of options for you to play as. And you're building your character to go on a movie. I think that's what makes this game work as well as it does. It doesn't capture that movie feeling, that movie excitement, that moment to moment. But that, my dear friends, is 4 games of Japanese descent. All of them have been unique. All of them have been interesting. But I think one of the core things I wanted to get across with this is that these games look intimidating, scary even, but at the end of the day, they're simple to understand, and they're easy to look at. They're sometimes a little bit frightening, but that shouldn't be a worrying thing. Look at it. I mean, it's fine, it works exceedingly well for what you want to do. Remember this image anytime you open these games. Look at baby Doge here, this innocent Doge. And that innocent doge is what these games are. They got a lot of history behind them, they got a lot of things, but at the end of the day, they're simple and easy and nice. You understand what it is and what it wants from you. It wants you to love it. And love it, hopefully you will. And now we get to do my favorite section of the Curious Case Weekends, where I get to die a little on the inside as we go to Kickstarter. Oh, Jesus. Okay. No. Now, I decided to make this just like an official part of the experience. Hi, Rat Queens. I actually read this comic. I try to like Rat Queens. I like the pitch. Game didn't do very well. I like the actual setting was kind of boring though. Leaned a little bit too hard into it. But I feel that these are important to go over because this is what's showing what things are popular, what things are kind of showing up and people are like, oh cool, let's look at this, like let's spend money at this. And I'm already being really sad. Deck building, dice rolling game. Okay. All right, that's what I like to see. It's not really funded at all, and I have a strange feeling. Oh wow, look everybody, it's 5e. Here, give me one second. Why is it always 5e? Why is it always 5e? Every single fucking time it's fucking 5e. Why does it always have to be 5e? Alright, so let's keep going. Board Game Tavern? I actually have one of these like right across the way from me. I've never been inside because it never looked open. Well, I wish models had their own section in this. Because right now it's like kind of... You get a lot of STL files on Kickstarter, and that's kind of annoying. That's like, alright, that's fine. Fabi, really, Fabi. Okay, shut up, curb your enthusiasm. Oh god, I did the thing I wasn't supposed to do. Oh no. Oh no. Notepad, don't do these things to me. Okay. Did I close out of the Twitch thing? Yes. I did close out of the Twitch thing like I wasn't supposed to. Because I have big brain. Big brain up here. But, oh god. Oh jeez, Rick. No. Oh no. Morkborg. You can't escape Morkborg. Morkborg is God. Let's see, is there anything else kind of popping up? Come on, there's gotta be... Uh-oh. Wait, is that just a Skaven game? Onyx Path, you wouldn't be putting out a game without telling us, would you? Help fund the development, printing a Squeaks in the Deep, a Realms of Pugmire's source book. They are making a Skaven game. Oh shit. Onyx Path, you can't do this to me. With your weird D20 game that I still have no idea why the fuck you made. Yeah, I'm still streaming. It's almost 3 hours. We're done with the games. We're looking at the Kickstarter now. And Onyx Path is still going. And making Skaven game. Oh no. But visits Zavid. I really hate this name. No, I hate that. Stop that. 2 to 6 for compromise. A rule book in the deck is surreal art card. Oh god. Powerful ability, shift the world around you. Yeah, no. Not in it. Okay, this one's looking good. All right. Great realm, experience incredible mix of modern fantasy, post-apocalyptic demon-infested world. All right. All right. Deep character creation, origin, species. Oh. Okay, then. A little bit. All right. All right. Professions, evolution. All right. I'm in. I'm in. Okay, what's the system like? Okay, what's the system like? I don't think they have a system. Oh no, I don't think they have a system, guys. Okay, so uh, now, please, for the love of God, please put whatever the fuck system you're using, because right now, what this game is, it's a character creation system. There are professions involved. You can upgrade them and do things. Flexible villain. What is flexible villain? This doesn't tell me what any of the mechanics are. Come on, there's got to be something. All right, we got copies. All right, okay, let's maybe maybe he's got something I can do. Fallen Worlds. Fallen Worlds TTRPG. Come on, give me something here. Darren Carey. Oh, no, no. Is this it? It's German. That's not it. Where are you? What? You went. Hello, found. Okay, let's. He'll tell us, right? Darken Creations. Darkkin Creations. So he's got to have a website. Darkkin Creations. No, he doesn't. No, there isn't. Oh God, he's part of League of Legends. Oh God. No, no, Mom, I don't want to be part of League of Legends. Don't care. Don't care. Tell me what the system is. Mark, I only want to know what the system is. Nope, don't know what the system is. You don't have systems, do you? You don't have a system, do you? Darren. Darren from Ireland. I want to know what your system is. That's all I want to know. I don't give a shit about your lore. Your lore sucks. You may be wondering, why does your lore suck? Your lore sucks because I don't care about it. Because there's no context to it. It's a setting book right now. But yeah, I'm interested in this one. This could be, yeah, I'll do remind me about it. So, all right, Stags and Reavers, tabletop RPG of Game of Chance. Oh, that's not a good sign. Blacksmith and game designer. Student blacksmith on my farm, Ravenstead. Oh no. Game of Chance. Oh God. Okay, got some comments. Okay, let's. Great start funded. I hate my own typos. Bunded. Pips instead of numeral. Okay, that means nothing. All right, so what did we learn today, kids? We learned that nothing of value happened. Okay. Okay, Ubisoft. I'm a fucking asshole with 72 followers on Twitch. I have no room to criticize your business decisions. However, you wouldn't be handing out your IP from one of your most valuable IPs to make a cheap game and then them have automatically go to Kickstarter for it. You wouldn't be doing that now, would you? You wouldn't do that. That would be a little bit weird, isn't it? Seems like you're more like you're selling the license for fuck all to do nothing with it. Ubisoft, please. Why do you do this to me? Or is this a game? Why? Like, that's my question, but why? Pure Arts. What have you done, Pure Arts? Hello. Oh, and Backer Kid is here. Cool. Backer Kid is here. Pure Arts. All right. Montreal. The worldwide release of Assassin's Creed Valhalla Orlog dice game is live. You mean Kickstarter, right? You wouldn't be selling it, using it as a Michael Jackson? What? Oh, God. They're statues. Why? Who are you? Why are you the way that you are? Rugby 6 Siege? Oh. Oh no. Licenses? You're a... It's not a game company. This isn't a game company, is it? I'm like, no, this can't be a fucking game company. This is insane. Why the fuck is this on Kickstarter? That's my question. Why the fuck is this on Kickstarter? This is not a Kickstarted game. This is not a creator-driven game. This is a company who's using this platform to sell it to people who are stupid. Why? And this is what I despise about Kickstarter. I cannot get over how much I despise this aspect about Kickstarter. Because this isn't... What else did you create? Come on, you gotta be... What else did you create? Come on. Monster Nine Eyes. Alright. I mean, that's at least in there. This is just really weird. And it's 892% funded already. When did this thing launch? What are you? Why? Come together to make this project. You're already selling the game. You've already sold the game. Like, are you needing more parts for it? Like, hmm. Weird. Warcaster. Wait, what? That's not what I think it is it? Please don't tell me they're hurting themselves again. Privateer Press, no. Privateer Press, why do you keep hurting yourselves? Yeah, okay, this is interesting. This is like a new thing entirely. Third Warcaster Kickstarter campaign, which is new models. To a Kickstarter campaign. Oh, it's... Why do people keep giving them money? This is Privateer... Oh, God. Privateer. Please, Privateer Press, stop hurting us. Let's see. Good old card games, board games. There's nothing too out of the... It's a little bit weird, but... Rat Queens. Projects we love. Of course, the project we love. You fucking goddamn... Kickstarters can't decide what the hell they like. Art and Map, Bantam West, and the Angels and Demons trilogy. Oh no, look, it's 5e. Whoa. Like 5e. Greg Stoles. Yep, you're back. Crankshift Constellation. Yeah, that's interesting. This is Greg, must be with Greg Stoles' new company. And Greg has done a lot of things. Let me just like get that out there. Greg has done an absurd amount of things over the years. So him having a new game out, which is a game that I'm kind of in, I think this is pretty interesting. How much money do you guys make? $50 a month. Doing something. Termination Shock. What are you? We're playing game. Wait a second. Why does this bring me to another game? Oh no. Greg, please. Greg, please don't do this to me. Termination Shock is their big thing, I guess. But Crankshift doesn't do anything else. What are you? Yeah, okay. Yeah. What? That's interesting. This is really interesting. This is their only game, but apparently they're making a new game about fencing. That's interesting. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit... Yeah, Greg's doing stuff. Greg's still around. I mean, I've looked at a few of his... I looked at one of his games before. Merkberg. Yeah, we got pretty... Nothing... Yeah, we are already down to Chow Recruit, which is pretty... This is pretty standard stuff we're going here. I have no idea what any of Highcaster is. That is a completely blank project. No idea. These guys fuck themselves hilariously enough. I will always laugh at them about that. What others here? Yeah, nothing too important there. So nothing too depressing this time around. Let's check out Itch. So we need to go to physical games. There can't be anything too bad here, right, kids? Oh, no. Oh, Lord, alright. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Gun. Gunt. Only one page. The game is required tabletop, which play as God, a noble, or a peasant. We'll play the characters goes. God decides what happens in the lives of the player with a random roll and die, and then makes everything else up to tell a story. And there's another roll and dice. Which character is affected? In the end, who doesn't die? Wins? Probably. Alright, fuck it, I'm in. Now, people always say that itch.io is great for this and that you should totally, tell us more about things on itch.io. And the problem is, itch.io has the problem of having a lot of shit in the physical game categories. And by a lot of shit, it's a lot of bullshit that doesn't make any sense and shouldn't really be in here. Also, here's my game. You should totally get it. But like, what is this? A solar pump? Now let's. It's 59 kilobytes. It is 59 kilobytes. Let's look at it. We're gonna look at it together using the power of friendship. Can't be that bad, right? Someone wouldn't just produce subpar bullshit and put it out. It's 2 pages. It's 2 pages. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus. Go about your day. Take an extra walk around if you can. Take notes, take pictures, take it in. See the past. Places with plaques. This is it. This isn't physical. This isn't a game. This is you taking a walk. Oh, God, I hate itch. I fucking hate this goddamn website, but I can't escape it. Not even a micro RPG. It's a non-RPG. There's not a game there. It's like take a walk. Taking a walk isn't a game. Yeah, looks like looks like there hasn't been too much. Oh wow, look, it's $15. Is there any community copies? Nope. What is... Oh wow, look, it's... How big is it? It's not going to be... Oh, it's 100... Oh, it's a zip, probably with all the artwork in it. Core rulebook, 50 pages rules, including character building. Oh. Why is it wait. Why the fuck is it 100 megabytes then? It's a 50-page book. Stormrack Isle. What? Plain text version of the rule, printable form, fillable characters. How is it 100 megs? Okay, now I'm getting confused. That's really weird. Really weird. Well, yeah, doesn't look like we have anything too exciting this time around on itch. Shame. So, I'm going to call it there for today. My name is Notepad, and this was... This was a look at 4 Japanese RPGs, as well as me going into Kickstarter and crying a little on the inside. So, at the end of the day, I want you to check out all the games that I went over today. Check them out. Have fun. Do things with them. If need be, if people do request it, I will post links in my server. And if you have any requests in that regard, feel free to. If you have any game that you also feel that you want me to go over, tell me, and I will see what I can do to find them. Let me see if I can find where's the curious cases. Looking at things right now, if you look at the curious case list, if actually what I should do is Shinobigami, begone Shinobigami, WitchQuest token, begone. Actually, I already have double cross. If we were to do part 3, it will most likely be fear games. I already have double cross. I have Tenra. I need another fear game to kind of circle that out. I have Ryutama and Project 1, the Lost TRPG. Have you looked at Lancer? I am not bringing Lancer on this holy place. Fuck Lancer. Nah, Lancer's okay. Lancer's one of those games that have gotten really absurdly popular, and I don't really want to talk about it. I try to focus on games that are a little bit smaller or people haven't really heard of. Being let's talk about cool things that I think are interesting. Or let's make fun of fucking PBTA games. Lancer's hit that point of being a bit too big for itself. I would be interested in seeing how Icons turns out, though. Icons is his new fantasy one, which is like, oh, well, it's going to be a strategy, it's going to be a fantasy game. Oh, Mechton. Yeah, I proposed to the mech heads on TG to see what they would be wanting. I do have the the full metal case of mecha RPGs, which is a lot of these are little bit smaller ones. The only big one is Gear Krieg. Like, that's the only like really absurdly large one in this one, and Gear Krieg cannot help but fucking lose. Uh, Mechton is one of those ones where it's like kind of hard to get into, and if I were to do it, I would do it. Probably, yeah, probably the big ones that we'll be doing next is either Curious Case of Games That Made It, because I have Eoris, I have that game. It is big, it is scary, and it is a bitch to do. I actually got the legit version of Busty Barbarian Bimbos and Engine Heart. I probably need one more to fill this one out. Trying to find by the author Lady Winmere's Fan, but I can't find it anywhere because the trove is dead. Outside of that, franchise games, like this was franchise games is going to be my one that I get to go back on anytime I feel like, because inevitably there's going to be about a dozen franchise games I can go over. Art punk RPGs, these ones are always the bitch. I also have a couple unsorted ones that I like cannot figure out where to put them. Kunai Academy is like a Naruto RPG. It looks really silly. Dime Adventures is really weird. Kind of curious how it goes with that. Kickstarter oddness is difficult. I have the SCP game. There is another Kickstarter game that it was like, what's up with this? And then also Survival of the Able. That one is just going to be me having to look into it and figure out what happened with it, and I might actually have to contact human beings with it. And I also need to see if I can't find the Queen's Cavaliers PDF, if that even exists. Because that Kickstarter succeeded, but they had to back out of it. Something happened. So there's a few options, but I'm always fielding new options and what people find interesting, what people would want. And yeah, if you ever find something, put it in submissions in my server, or message me on whatever platform you feel like. So, my name is Notepad, and this was the curious case of a bunch of games. So, Godspeed, good luck. I'll catch